Hey guys, Future Sammy here, and it occurred to me while I was editing this video that we got into some pretty intense topics. So disclaimer, if you're put off by profanity, adultery, blood, cursing, all of the triggers, this might not be the video for you. Not to worry though, I've got plenty more wholesome videos already on the channel, and more to come, so I will not be offended if you happen to pass up on this one. With that said, I think it's going to be a really fun time, and you're in for a treat, so the video will start now. Any judgment would be greatly appreciated.
Dump that person as a friend. They are a piece of shit.
This guy sounds like a creep. Dump, block, maybe have a restraining order.
You have to be a real fucking pig to do that.
He's like a house.
They need to leave her the fuck alone.
No! Can we not have this conversation at all?
Wouldn't ever talk to this person again.
You know, he might actually be gay.
It's like they think that I was trying to touch me or something.
Maybe he's just a closet pervert who likes sniffing tampons, is what I'm thinking. Yeah, what Sammy said.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Sammy here, and today we have a jam-packed guest list of my beautiful sisters Kianna and Yuka. Say hi!
Yo!
I hate life.
And with us as well
my Wi-Fi
is
died on me.
our new friend Miss Chica and Sarah. Shadow and Tifa here as well. There's so many people here, we can't even get them all on the screen. So today we're going to be going over the Am I the Asshole Reddit today. We have previously selected this really good one, a couple more that we're going to be going over. So with that said, let's get into it. Am I the asshole for leading a family gathering because my family made me sit at the kids' table? So for context, I haven't seen my family.
Alright, am I reading this?
If you want to, I was going to read it, but you can read it.
Well, considering... Right, fuck. Fine. Sure. Damn it. I need to stop dropping shit.
No.
Alright, I will read it in that case. Am I the asshole for leaving a family gathering because a family made me sit at the kids' table? For context, I haven't seen my whole family together in quite some time, so they set up a get-together at the park today. The family gathering included me, 22 male, my brother, 21, my sister, 25, her husband, 29, and their 2 kids, my dad, stepmom, and her kids, 6 and 9, aunt, uncle, my 2 cousins, 15 and 20, grandma, grandpa. I get there with some picnic items. I brought a quiche and the cups, and see a few members setting up. I say hi and help set up the table and set the food up. We talk and play games while the others show up. When everyone gets there, we sit down to eat. I sit next to my dad and get a weird look from my aunt as she says to me, "This is the adult table," to which I reply, "I am an adult." She tells me that the first and second generations are considered adult, and the third and fourth generations should sit at the kids' table since we don't have much to contribute to adult conversations. I tell her that I can drink, that I drove here, I pay rent, and I have a job, so how am I still considered a child? She says that until I have kids of my own, I'll have to sit at the kids' table. According to my aunt, there are 8 children ages 6 to 22 and 8 adults ages 25 to 75, so I should just sit at the kids' table since it'll be even, but there is plenty of space at the adult table, and I don't want to be stuck with literal 5 children. She disagrees, and at this point, my uncle and grandparents back her up, so I say fuck it, I take my quiche back, and I tell them to have a nice day, and I drive away. I get a few texts telling me to come back by my dad and grandparents. I ask if aunt is going to apologize, and they ask, what for? For what? That was enough for me to disregard their other messages and calls until I get home, where I am now. I feel shitty that I have possibly ruined a nice family gathering, but I feel my family doesn't respect me at all enough to say that I am still a child and apparently have the same mentality as a 6-year-old. Am I the asshole? Edit. This really blew up. Thanks for everyone. Oh wait. Yeah, that's just the edit. So I would say no, because that's happened to me, and similar things have happened to me, where I was at family gatherings and where they basically tell me that, oh, I see Tasty typing. Remember to use the text-to-speech things so I don't have to edit it in later. Where they tell me just because I don't have kids and because I'm not like super old, like Stella, because Stella has. But I think it's hypocritical because Olive is a mom, and they let her sit at the grown-up table when she's a little younger than me. So I think that's something to factor in. But the main issue I have with this is that I think that the aunt was completely out of line, and everyone else was just trying to like make peace. But if they're not even going to acknowledge the fact that the aunt was in the wrong, there's no point in them telling them to come back.
Yeah, definitely not the a-hole. I'm kind of in a similar situation with my aunts, but I sit at the adult table like everyone else. They tell me to act like an adult, but they kind of don't acknowledge me. Don't. Kind of trying to control my behavior.
Miss Froststone said, I think they are the a-hole.
Really? Why do you think that,
Yeah,
Tasty?
definitely. I have no idea. I really wish I knew. For example, my aunt, one of my aunts, she is like when we're shopping, and it's actually my money. I'm buying my groceries. She's like, I'm like really tempted to get some sweets, and even though I'm a diabetic, I do watch what I eat, and a little bit of sweets here and there isn't gonna kill me. But God forbid I buy a pie that I'm gonna eat throughout maybe 2 weeks, not even one piece per meal, like maybe once every few days, but God forbid I can buy my own freaking pie. So yeah, that kind of thing.
Well, I get trying to crap out the stuff I got. I'm always buying tons of pastries and donuts and stuff, but I got the body where it didn't even show on me really. Like, they think just because I'm buying tons of cookies and stuff that I'm not mature because I'm not buying like the Raisin Bran. But like, I just personally like the sweet stuff. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. So I completely get where you're coming from too.
Ms. Froststone said because while he might have a good case for it him being allowed at the adult table, his reaction to being told to sit at the kids' table was childish.
Come on, Tasty. Like, would you really sit at children's table full? Would you really sit at the children's table with like 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds, Tasty?
Ms. Froststone said, would I get cake?
Yes. What do you think, Kianna?
Ms. Froststone said I would be the new leader of the kids' table for free cake.
Definitely not the a-hole, and they need to respect her independence. I mean, simply, she's over 18, and she pays her own bills, she does her own shit, makes her own money. She's a fucking adult, and they need to leave her the fuck alone.
Agreed. Or at very least, respect her as an adult and let her sit with the other adults.
Also, I'm a freaking cat now.
I saw.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
You're adorable. Adorable fluffy ears.
It's a free avatar. Like, all of you need to get animes and like do all this. They have a bunch of free ones, and then you can buy a couple and unlock them.
Just finished some tater tots. Those are amazing.
And my brother's home. Damn it. Okay.
Okay, so
who wants to pick the next one?
Up to you with anything.
Alright, here's another good one. Am I the asshole for calling the police on my son's friend? Personally, I believe that snitches get stitches, so right off the bat, this lady is the asshole, but I think context is going to be really important for this. Kianna, why don't you read this one?
Wow. I know someone who did that recently.
Really?
Okay. I'm not talking about it. Just something I heard from, like, my brother's coworker. Also, if you can hear them, I am sorry. They talk loudly.
We actually can't hear them.
Alright. Now you can.
Well, because you call it into existence.
Okay. Am I the a-hole for calling the police on my son's friend? My son, Brian, 13, has a friend, Tom, 13, who I really dislike. Put it in gentlest terms, Tom has never been disciplined in a single day of his life, and is under the impression that there are and have never will be any consequences for his actions. However, since Brian is on the spectrum, very few other children wanted to hang out with him. I have to tell him that Tom is using him for his Nintendo Switch, but he is unable to process that. Yep, that's familiar.
Oops.
Every time Tom comes over, he'll hog the Switch to play one of the games. Oftentimes a single player game. Over the weekend, Tom came over for a sleepover. As usual, he raced up to Brian's room, turned on the game, and sat there for hours. He played there till 3 a.m. on a Sunday morning, and then he woke up at 10 a.m. and without joining us for breakfast, started playing more. At 12, Brian reached his limit and told Tom that it was time to go home. But he was tuned out completely. Brian then came asking me what she should do, and I told him to be more assertive. An hour later, he came back basically in tears, saying no matter what he said, Tom was just ignoring him or giving him short, a little more answers. Yep. I walked in to find Tom as usual, mouth breathing at the screen. I told him that I had to drive him home, and he responded that he would walk like 2 miles. I told him that he had to go home, and the kid legitimately looked at me in the eye and said, "No, I don't think I will." He actually tried to pull off the Captain America line. I then called his mother, who didn't pick up. Finally, I unplugged the machine from the wall, causing his game to turn off. But he attached the controller to the handheld part and sat on Brian's beanbag chair, again impervious to anything, and said, "At my limit, I went into the other room and called the police."
Whoa.
Damn it.
That escalated really quick.
Again, they're loud. Sam continued for me. They're coming in.
Okay, since we live in a small town, the police officer, a good friend of ours, came right over. He walked up to Tom and said that the typo said that there had been complaints of trespassing, which Tom responded to by saying he was invited. The officer looked at me, and I assured him that he had been asked to go home. The officer asked if he wanted to be charged with misdemeanor trespassing. Tom finally got his act together and was taken home by him, that he was never going, but on his way out, I told him that he was never going to step foot in my house again. I told him not to talk to Brian at school and not to text Brian privately. An hour later, Tom's mother called me and shrieked over the phone until hoarse about how horribly I had treated her son. I stayed calm and told her I had called her, but she said she was busy in a meeting and couldn't talk. I guarantee that Tom fed her some lie-filled story, but I didn't let it go. I didn't have the energy and told her to get her shit together as a parent and just hung up on her. Good for you. I have received dozens of angry-filled texts both from Tom's mother and numbers I don't know. I wouldn't care what those trashy parents think, but I wonder if they have a point. Well, okay, I think the lady may have overreacted a lot, but the other lady and the kid, they were horrible, so, you know, horrible people have horrible things happen to them. Like, you get what you give, you reap what you sow, and because Tom and his mother were just awful, like, you know, like, what do you guys think?
As a gamer myself, and especially one who's on low income, I would have to say he did. I do admit it does feel like he did kind of go a little bit overboard. I don't know how old this kid is. I don't know if they're a teenager. There needs to be a lot more context, because if they're a teenager and they know what the heck they're doing, which
They
from
were 13.
texting or contacting, it's... Pardon?
It said in the beginning they
Repeat
were 13.
what you said?
They were 13.
I guess my brain isn't working. Okay, so yeah, this person, a 13-year-old, should know better, so definitely not the a-hole. Because, honestly, I would have done the same. My video games, though, are my life. I would probably hurt someone if anyone destroyed any of my games and systems, because I am a bona fide video game addict. So I'm gonna say not the a-hole. He did kind of overreact. He could have tried to contact the mother a little bit more, true, but still not the a-hole.
I agree, in a sense. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of miscommunication, but at the same time, I have a personal issue with people taking this.
Mostly I'm thinking with the way that the police can go a little bit trigger happy, that could have resulted in a really ugly turnout. But she did specify like they were friends with each other, so like in that scenario it's okay, but like it could have just as easily gone really south really fast. So I think in this particular scenario it was
Ms.
fine.
Froststone said all that happened was that he got a ride home, so it's not like anything bad happened to him.
Yeah, there, but like it could have done.
And another thing, Another thing the parent did emphasize on is that it did seem like this kid was using his friend for his video games, so it was a one-sided
100%.
friendship.
100%. Now, you also have to keep in mind that that kid is now friendless again. That Nintendo Switch is the only reason that kid came over in the first place.
Probably.
I would rather be friendless than have someone use me for an asset I have. That's a fake friend. A person who is lying to you to be friends. That isn't a friend. That's just a user.
Yeah, so I think we're all agreed then that they aren't the asshole.
Oh.
Hey, Tifa! Looks like we finally decided to come in. You actually had perfect timing because we just were wrapping up another one.
I have the a new one that I found.
Alright, whenever you're ready.
Well, I'll
wait,
drop
we've
you
been-
mute for the most part.
You've been completely ignoring Sarah this entire time. Sarah, are you even there?
Lady Kestrel said I've got some personal feelings on it too. The man had removed the kid himself. His mom could have charged him with
Whoever
assault
Sarah
depending
is,
on what the
hello.
kid said.
That's what I was thinking. Like, if
Hi.
it didn't go smoothly, and the officer like grabbed the kid, maybe like tased him, whacked him with the club, handcuffed him really hard, like threw him in the car and he hit his head, or just like dragged him out kicking and screaming, or like God forbid pulled a gun on him. The mom could have then said that it was assault, and it'd be like this big thing, and then it would just make the police department look even worse than it already does.
If I may interrupt, I think they were talking about the father handling it themselves. I mean, I could be wrong. I apologize if I am. Please correct me if I am.
Well, that could get even worse too. That's what I think. Is like if they did that and they threw him out, the kid could then say the exact same thing. It's just I love stories like these because there's like no like right or wrong answer. Like there's so many things to factor in.
Lady Kestrel said
Alright,
good
I'm
interpretation,
gonna start
Risa.
the next one.
All right, go for it, Tifa.
Before you do, if I can interrupt, for those who don't know, I either go by Risa, that's what I think Kestrel just said, or Yuka. They're both usernames I use, just clarifying.
I usually go by Turtle or TC, but I don't mind what you guys pick. I'm like very versatile. And Tifa is like, for whatever reason. Okay. Am I the asshole for not telling my older sister-in-law my son's name before he was born?
I don't think so.
My husband has two sisters. My husband has two. You don't think he is? They are?
Just by the header, like it's only the father and the mother's business what the kid's name is, and maybe the other kids if they have multiple kids. But the sister-in-law, that's none of her business. And the fact, like, if you tell people you're gonna have a kid in the name, like, they're gonna say, like, oh, that's a horrible name, you should name them this, and then they're gonna be offended if you don't name them just because you name them.
Or, I was gonna use that name, you can't use that name.
Oh, why can't we both have the same name? Like, that's fine. There's actually 3 different Sams just in my family. Alright, let's continue though, let's hear the contact.
Okay. My husband has 2 sisters. Jane is the older, and Emma is the younger. He and I are expecting our second baby, and we already have his name decided. Jane knows this because she saw my husband pick up the custom name sticker we got for the nursery. Jane is dying to know the name. She asked my husband, and he told her we'd reveal all when the baby is here. She came to me then and asked me, and I said no to giving her the name. The reason? When Emma had her son, she used the name Emma mentioned when she was 6 months pregnant. Jane was also pregnant, a couple months ahead of Emma, and when Jane's son was born, she used the name Emma had chosen. The same first, middle, and also last. Emma ended up changing her son's name, and it really upsetted her. My husband and I had our daughter Jane went nuts over her name. She told us she had amazing taste and joked she wished she had a girl to use it on. My husband told her that it wouldn't work anymore since we already had a child with the name. Through her eyes at his response. Jane's due any day now with another baby. I suspect she would use our son's name if we told her now. She thinks I'm being too uptight and should share the name since it's not a big deal and can give her a chance to get something extra special for our son. I told her she doesn't need to get him anything, but she does want to buy can be purchased when he's here. She's really mad. Am I the asshole?
I don't think so.
Anything, the other lady was the asshole.
Give this to
Yeah.
her own sister.
Like, I think especially if she
Can't
was...
comment. Go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead.
I can't comment on this because I was busy making dinner.
Fair enough.
I was a little bit confused though. When she said she changed the name, was the child already born when she changed it? Like that, I think makes a difference a bit too.
Well, Jane gave birth before Emma, and the wife of this husband, like, probably saw this and was like, I'm not telling you the name, and the husband agreed. Probably that reason, because they didn't want to deal with that drama.
Yeah, I think that's perfectly
And-
understandable.
And Jane was like being a jerk about it because she's like, I want to know the name. Tell me the name. She's like due any day now to give birth, and the person who is
Lady Kestrel said
expecting
may have
is
to
not
go
going to
BRB
say
and
the
clean
name
a
for
few
child
pots.
'cause she
Bro
feels
making
like
dinner.
Jane would
We'll let you
take
know
the
if I
name
have to.
that she and her husband chose, forcing them to change.
That's a very valid point. Sarah, is there anything you
I'm
would like to
getting it right.
contribute?
Froststone said actions have
I think
consequences.
I think
If you abuse what people tell you, then they won't keep telling you stuff.
I think she
At
is.
least
I
they
think
didn't lie about the name.
sister-in-law's projected.
I think that too. That's how come I usually try. Sarah, would you like to pick out the next one?
I'll just listen at the moment.
Okay, I actually found one that's pretty interesting, and that's, am I the asshole for not leaving with my newborn twins and toddler while my sister had a meeting? I, 23 female, have a 2-year-old son and 2-month-old twins. I am a stay-at-home mom, and my sister, 25 female, who is in grad school, has been staying with us while her apartment building gets fumigated. She had a meeting with one of her professors to talk about some stuff regarding a project and set up her laptop in the kitchen. It's worth noting that the kitchen is right off the children's play area and bedroom. And she also has a bedroom all to herself that has a desk with decent Wi-Fi in. After about 5 minutes into her meeting, my 2-year-old, who was playing with his toy truck, got hurt and started crying. He wasn't even having a tantrum, just crying because he got hurt. After a few minutes, my sister excuses herself from the meeting for a moment and yells at me to take the kids out of the house and that she needs total silence. I told her I wasn't going to take my 3 small children out by myself with no stroller, which was unfortunately left in the car by my husband. No stroller, which was unfortunately left in the car my husband took that morning. She has been telling me all week that I ruined her meeting and I need to get my children under control. My parents agree that I was being reasonable. Am I the asshole? To add to this, this is my home, my husband, and my children. My husband and I were very lucky to buy a home before the pandemic whilst I was pregnant with our oldest son. My parents did not and do not fund any part of our lives. They do, however, fund my sister's life. So if she gets in trouble in grad school, it affects them just as much as her. But this is my home. Last edit. I didn't think this had to be specified, but apparently some people are living in alternate 2021. It was a Zoom meeting. Our graduate Zoom school professor did not come to my home for a meeting during the pandemic. So I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that it was both of their faults. Because the sister was already there, and if the kids were being quiet while she was in her meeting, she wouldn't have known, like, because she doesn't live there. She doesn't really know where the house layout is. So I think if she expected the kids to be quiet and being respectful of her meeting, that's one thing. But on the other hand, she did have a desk with Wi-Fi in her room. I think that alternatively, she said laptop. The laptops are very portable. Like, she didn't even necessarily have to take a break from her meeting. She could have just, like, grabbed her stuff, grabbed her laptop, grabbed everything, put it on the top of the laptop, and just go into the room and plug it in there, and then just continue her meeting from her room. So I think the fact that she's blaming her sister for her children just being children, I think it's really showing that the sister has like no tolerance.
Asshole alert.
What was
was
that?
AFK a bit looking for what I would be posting, so I was like,
Eating.
I heard the tail end of it. Like someone was getting upset with someone else for the fact that their own children were being children.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like she had a Zoom
Being
meeting for
upset
her
at someone
school.
because they're kids.
So is she like a Karen?
That's exactly
I don't
what I
know
was
why, but that
thinking.
makes me think of Karens.
That's
She was
another
in the
Karen thing
kitchen.
to do.
She was in the kitchen with her
Yeah.
Zoom class, and the kids are being loud. So she didn't. Instead of going to her room, like any mature person would go to their room and use the computer, she was like, "Make your children be quiet. I'm in a Zoom meeting."
Kick the Karen out, honestly.
Yeah, that sounds so much like a Karen. Oh, by the way, I found one to share with you guys. When it gets to my turn.
The turn next time.
Yeah, sure.
But seriously, Tifa, the way you sounded like an adorable thing. So I want to huggle you.
You're getting huggles, Sam.
Group huggle.
You huggle.
Ms. Froststone said at school you're paying them to be there, they will put up with a little crying in the background.
Yeah, but like some people I know, as Kestrel here, I know she would understand this. It's really hard to focus on the curriculum when there's a lot of distractions in the background. But what I think is what makes this lady, the other lady, the sister-in-law for staying near the asshole, is that she has her own room. Like she could have just gone to her room and used the computer in there. Laptop. It's portable. Leave the room.
I thought I said already.
You have your microphone muted a lot of the time, so I don't know if you're talking and you just don't know you can't hear you.
I think the laptop lady had their expectations too high.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, Karen.
Number one asshole alert.
Very much.
So like on this one, it's am I an asshole for not taking my husband to my brother-in-law's funeral? And that's the header after he went to get my sister's wishes. And it said, my sister's husband was sick for over 6 months. In the past couple months, he got worse. They had 2 kids, 4 nephews, 6 nieces. I agreed to take the kids in to look after them and help my sister focus on her husband. A week ago, I got a call at 6:50 from my sister crying, telling me her husband just passed away. It was so devastating. I was still in bed when I got the news. I checked on the kids, and they were asleep. I had to go see my sister and be with her. I asked my husband to keep an eye on the kids and warned him not to tell them about their father's passing till their mom gets there, and to tell them herself. In one way, since she made me a promise to wait till she was there, tell them herself. He nodded, but said, telling them the sooner the better. I told him it was none of his business and he needed to respect their mother's wishes. He said I could go and he'd watch the kids. An hour later, my phone rang while I was with my sister, and it was my husband telling me to get home ASAP because the kids had a breakdown after he told them their father passed. I was dumbfounded, and Sean was so mad and helpless. I asked why he told them, but I couldn't hear his reply because the kids were crying loudly in the background. Their mother heard,
the guy,
and
that man goofed up. He done goofed.
like, especially since she told him, the mother of the children asked them not to tell. And then she asked him again not to tell, and he agreed, like she would never have left if he was going to do something so stupid. And then, like, that was just so dumb on so many levels. Continuing, it says, like, at that point, I would have just left the guy. I was dumbfounded and so mad and helpless. I asked why he told them, but I couldn't hear his voice because the kids were crying so loud in the background. Their mother heard and figured they found out. She told me to drive her to see them. I apologized for what my husband did, but she didn't respond. We got home and it was a mess. My heart sank seeing the kids crying for their dad like that. Their mom took them inside the room and shut the door on my husband, and he said he didn't want to say anything, even made them breakfast, but when he heard the kids talk about what they were going to do when they see their dad soon, he felt the urge to tell them. I yelled at him for going against my sister's wishes. He apologized to my sister, but she said she doesn't want him.
He's such an idiot. An idiot. When someone is talking about their dads, even though they're passed away, you don't say anything. You keep your mouth shut.
Thank you. Like I cannot believe
your mouth shut.
I can't believe this guy. Like, how dare he? That's not his place. Like, even I would respect that. I'm usually the first one to blab when someone has, like, a secret. Continuing, it says, I yelled at him for going against my sister's wishes. He apologized to my sister, but she said she doesn't want him to see him because the kids stopped talking from their trauma. Like that movie Christmas with Holly where the girl just stopped talking. That could be, like, very devastating. Like, they could just... I was like that, though. Like, I didn't talk for years. So this is, like, bad. This is really bad for the kid's sake. He wanted to go to the funeral, but I told him my sister doesn't want to see him, and I'm respecting her wishes. He got upset, saying I excluded him from a family event, which was unfair and flat-out petty. He said he couldn't help it, so I shouldn't hold him accountable because it just happened.
Honestly, yes, he should definitely be held accountable because thanks to him, kids have unnecessary trauma that could have been like simmered down a bit if their mother was the one who informed them. Instead of, you know what, he could have even just fucking lied about the whole how he told them. Because let's just be fucking honest. If he's that,
or just be
I don't
like,
trust this guy.
Yeah, bite your tongue. Like, just don't say anything. Sometimes silence is enough of an answer too. Like, if you're not saying anything, like if the kid's like saying, "Oh, well, I can't wait till I see Dad again," and then he just like looks at them with like a blank stare, and they're like, what is it? What are you saying? Like, oh, it's not my place to say. Like, sometimes that is like all like that's like telling. That's the same as telling. And if they're smart enough to pick up on that, then maybe they're smart enough to know the truth right then and there. But if he didn't, like, if he was just gonna go and like blab like the whole thing, oh well, sorry kiddos, but your father's no longer with us anymore. He bought the farm, he kicked the bucket, he's like dead, 6 feet under in a fine wood box. Actually, that's not true. He's in the morgue. Like, there are some things that you should not say. And those are all prime examples of things you should not say, especially to children, of all things. Like,
I want to do smock.
Like, I feel bad for this lady. I feel so bad for her. So it does have a little bit more, but I felt ashamed and a major letdown for my sister because she stated her wishes and he didn't respect them. And so here are some of the responses from what people say. LPT, when lost in the desert, just Photoshop yourself at a tiki bar. Like, that might be a commercial. Not the asshole. I was babysitting for my family friend while they were at a hospital saying goodbye to their other child. I knew that their son had died, but I kept my mouth shut, and I loved on their daughter who was talking about going to see her brother until they got home because it was 1,000%, 10,000% not my place to say anything. Didn't even cross my mind to tell her, even though I had to leave the room a few times to wipe my eyes and regain composure. Like, that's like one of the things on this subreddit, and if you just keep going, like, they're all stuff like that. So if we're all in agreement, Tifa, you may continue with your story.
I just found this. I posted in Spiral Door, right?
Yeah.
The post. Like, AITA for telling my boyfriend's parents that I'm not, quote unquote, stealing their little boy. He is a grown man who can make his own choices, and he's chosen a relationship. Been with Joey for about a year. Read this one before?
No, but like right off, I can immediately tell where this is going because I once dated a guy. His name was Sapphire, and his mother was a minister. And at first, he thought we're gonna hit it off, like, because we're both into crystals and like energy healing and Reiki and like meditation and all that. and we dating for like a week, and I meet his mother, and immediately things are getting really bad really fast because I tell her, she's like, well, what's your favorite crystal? And I'm like, my favorite crystal is Sugalite. And Sugalite's not a crystal, it's a stone. You're not really into Reiki and crystals healing. You're just a poser. Like, if anyone with common sense would know that Sugalite is a stone and not a crystal. And it just got worse and worse and degraded from there, to the point that I was never allowed to come to his mother's house anymore. And Zeffy would end up spending more time with me over her, and that really pissed her off. And Zeffy wanted me to work at their little like shop, because they had like a little club where it wasn't like a bar, but it was like a non-alcoholic bar, like a community center. And I would come there a lot, and I was really good at that, and I helped him out a lot. But then the mom got so mad, she made the son like get rid of me, quote unquote. So I ended up just never seeing the mother, and so that felt like a major wedge in my relationship with the guy. So basically I told him, look, I want this to work, but your mother's being impossible. It's either me or her, and I don't blame you for deciding with her, because, you know, she raised you and all that, but this isn't for me. And that's ultimately why we broke up. So I can see this is gonna go that way too, immediately, from my own personal experience.
I didn't even need a chance to do the full story.
Yeah, let's actually hear the full story.
I feel like his family started to resent me because he was spending more time with me and less at home. This month, I got a great job offer in Colorado. He has recently finished his master's degree and is looking for a first full-time job. We decided together to move to Colorado. I take the job and he'd look for a job there. For context, home is Connecticut. Both of our families live in Connecticut, but he and his family do a lot more in-person things. My family is very busy, and even though we all live in the same area, we mostly keep in touch by phone. Big move, but my job offer was a once-of-a-lifetime chance. We decided together that it was what we wanted to do. After all, he didn't have a job yet, so this was the perfect time for us to move, when we had that freedom to move without either of us having to make an unwanted career sacrifice. He told his family on his own, and from what he said later, they were upset. They thought it was a bad idea to move cross country for a girl. They thought it would be hard to live somewhere without family, friends, or a support network, especially if we'd be having kids. I left that whole bag of worms for him to handle. Like, it's his family. His family was super excited. My family was super excited for me and not totally surprised. They were just like, of course our wild child is moving to the mountains. Anyways, I got brought into his family drama a bit at his younger sister's birthday party. His mom and dad were in the kitchen when I came in to get a water, and his mom told me pretty bluntly that she didn't like the idea of us uprooting our lives and leaving family. I said that my family was happy for me and excited for me, and that I thought it would be an exciting, positive thing. I think that irritated her more. She started lecturing me on how important family is, and how it was reckless and selfish that what I was doing, pulling her son across the country away from everyone he knows. I asked, is that really what you think I'm doing? Pulling him away? She knew it was my idea, and that she knew that I knew that by doing it, I'd be stealing him away from family life, from his sisters, parents, and grandparents. That total bitch. Grandma, this woman, she's a bitch.
I was actually thinking the exact opposite. I was thinking, like, family is the most important thing, and I think it's...
I'm not done. I was just like, that was my 2 cents added in, by the way.
Yeah,
sorry
I
about
know,
that.
I heard.
Anyways,
that's why I'm chiming in too, because I think that family is the most important thing, and you see how hard it is to get stuff with us when we're all scattered across the country, and now the mother actually has a valid point. That girl is stealing their son away from them. Like, when I was dating Zephyr, I never would have considered having him uproot everything and move across the country when everything he
I'm
ever
not done
had
with
was
the full story.
Alright, go.
But I'm not. I found it pretty condescending that she was acting like I was stealing her little boy. He's a grown man. who can make his own choices. No one can steal a man. They go where they damn well please. And my boyfriend made a choice. His own choice, not mine, to choose our relationship and come along with me to Colorado. She found that really rude, and so did my boyfriend's dad. He got really short with me and told me to leave the house rather than speak to his wife like that. I went home. An asshole for having said that what I did to my boyfriend's parents.
100%. It's like absolutely.
No.
I don't think so. I mean, we don't know the full context of. I mean, they were having issues with her before the movie.
I am not for.
Not even his wife.
Yuka was talking.
I am not for family is the most important thing. My family is on a really tight string with me right now. They're pretty much my contact with my family, specifically my aunts, both of them, to be honest, because they do tag team. So close to actually cutting them out of my life. If you're a grown-up, you can still contact your family via phone. If they're an adult, there's no such thing as stealing another adult. This isn't a kidnapper stealing a child. This is a grown man who's making his own decision. She didn't force him. He's making his own decision to move out there. He could say no if he didn't want to go. He's ready to leave the nest, and sometimes leaving the nest means that.
And they did have that conversation before making any concrete choice, and I agreed. He fully, like I said in the thing, they talked about it. They both agreed. She agreed. There were no issues until the parents made it an issue. She allowed him to deal with it.
Getting together, like family gatherings, like every week, every other week, every day, who knows, and he moves all the way to Colorado. Those are not. He's never going to be there anymore. He might try to use that excuse. Oh well, I can't come for Christmas. I'm in Colorado.
Sammy, let me interject really quick, Sammy. Dad moved to Pennsylvania, and that's the best thing he could have freaking done, because my dad is a piece of crap.
Frost Stone said with a mother like that, he might be the type that's easy to control.
A horrible thing. If family just never moved, we'll be having inbreeding issues sooner or later.
That's true.
Lady Kestrel said not touching it.
Will make it so your kids don't end up being with somebody who is genetically related to you on one or both sides.
I completely understand, Kitty, if you're not gonna touch this conversation.
Touching it because she's conflicted. Like, she wants to say one thing, but she also wants to say something else, and those opinions clash. Because I could see how she would have opinions on both sides very strongly, and I was like ready. I was like so ready to just rail on this mother-in-law.
Lady Kestrel said, "Yep."
But like the fact that it's not like just down the. It's not like from Tennessee to Arkansas, or this is like a massive move. Like, it's all the way to Colorado. So if they're
but the job is a once in a lifetime thing. It's like some offers only happen once in a lifetime, and if you miss on those lifetime things, they're not coming back. Sometimes you have to make the risk, and they both talked about it and agreed on it. And the parents don't support it, that's on them. Just like if anyone else, not family related, gets pissy on something, that's on them.
I'm sorry, but like in Colorado,
and it's not like they're cutting ties all emotionally in contact or phone calls or anything.
And it's like they can't come back to visit during vacation time.
Yeah, because like I said, like the person said, their job offer was a once in a lifetime one. So by all means, it was very likely a very well-paying job. So they could very well end up affording to do those vacations.
I mean, suppose if it's like that angle, it's not as bad. But like I've had this personally happen with my cousins, where they married into other families and they moved away. My cousin Sky lived in Tennessee his whole life. He married a guy and then went to live in Florida, and I have not seen him since probably Christmas, and that's like the only time he didn't even come to Christmas. He did not come to Christmas because he wanted to have Christmas with his husband, and they didn't want to come to Tennessee because they thought that there were some, not into it, but like Kianna gets it, but like sometimes
okay, from your this is a fully accurate by your logic thing. But if family's so important, should I go to Pennsylvania? Should I go from California to Pennsylvania to live with my deadbeat dad?
Well, no, because that's exactly it. You just said he's a deadbeat. But, like, from the context, this family is very close.
Well, he's a full-ass grown adult, Sammy. This isn't an idiot situation. The man made his decision. He's an adult. She isn't taking him away. He has made his adult choice. Adults get to have a choice. Even if they don't want to come over for holidays. They have choices as adults.
Every human being should have the freedom to choose their life. Choose how they choose. Well, if you're denied the choice to do what you want to do, if you are denied the choice to make a difference in your life, then what's the point of living?
You know what?
Why? To be your parents' doll?
I think you had a valid point, and I'd like to change my opinion. The mother's not the asshole, the girlfriend's not the asshole, the guy's the asshole because he's choosing the girlfriend that he doesn't really know because they're apparently not married over his family, which is because family's forever. Like some girl, she could come, go.
You don't know how long they've been together. You don't know how long they've been together. They could have been together 10 years. It doesn't matter. They're both adults.
Who's to say they didn't get married in the future?
Exactly. And even if they do break up, he could always move back.
Yeah. And from the conversation, the parents made the implications that the couple may be expecting kids, although that could be the parents' way of trying to weaseling way to keep their child, quote unquote, close to the house, which bothers me. It really does.
This isn't about the son moving away. This is about the parents trying to control their child to keep them in their grasp. This is what narcissists do. I hate to say it, my family does this.
Well, mine does it too, but my family also, it really sucks to have your family not want to come over for Christmas and do stuff like, oh, I'm in Oregon, I can't fly over. Oh, it's just not in the budget to fly over for Christmas this year. Sorry, we can do a Zoom meeting. And then you try to do a Zoom meeting.
Sam?
Sam?
Your brother just doesn't want to come over. I'm sorry if this sounds mean and hurtful. It's how it sounds like.
Well, exactly
Ms.
what this
Frost Stone
sounds
said
like.
the girl is the asshole not because she was wrong but because she could have had more
how is
tact.
that an issue? If someone chooses to want to, leave the home and not come back, maybe there's reasons, emotional ones, that we all don't know about.
My dad left me to go to Pennsylvania and he started a new family.
See, that's
Everyone has
unacceptable.
reasons to leave.
And he doesn't even come back. And you know what? I don't care. He's a grown-ass adult. He can make his own decisions and have his family in Pennsylvania. I still talk to my dad occasionally, despite being a deadbeat. On the phone. Zoom meet. Damn it. Ugh.
Y'all don't think that
Please remind me to throw my phone at the wall.
Y'all don't think that this is unacceptable that he's leaving his family behind to be with some girl who could break his heart and there'll be no way for him to get back. And they're gonna be well, we told
Jimmy!
you.
Dude.
Oh, you know what? He's leaving his family to either have his heart broken or to potentially start his own family.
I think that Tasty
I
has a
didn't know
point
this
too.
would be as strongly.
Lady Kestrel said my
argumentative
biological
as
father
it was. I
willingly
just
gave
thought it
me
was
up when I was 2
interesting,
cause
but a
he
lot
knew
of
he was
people would
insane.
agree. I
Though
wasn't
some of y'all
expecting
know the
this.
stepdad wasn't much better.
You unintentionally
And many
touched
of
a
y'all
nerve,
knew
but
what
it's
my
fine.
mom.
Sammy, I do understand that what you're feeling is in a way justified, but at the same time, you should probably ask your brother why he's not coming back. Maybe there's somebody at the family meeting, at the family gatherings, that's making him feel like his choice of husband is not right.
Yeah, because there are people who would openly. Why would anyone want to put themselves in a situation where they would be hated by their own family? That's a horrible feeling. But at the same time, if you love someone and that person is doing the best to you in comparison to any other person you've ever encountered in your life, why should they discard that one person for a family who's already treating them like shit? Sorry, I don't know if this
I would say you're
has any
right.
connections.
I think we need more context in this to make an educated decision, because I think you're making a valid point saying if the family is like manipulating him and like keeping him in their clutches because like some malice
And the
stuff like that,
girlfriend wouldn't need to be. Yeah, newsflash: the girlfriend wouldn't be able to know any of this because families' issues tend to stick into the family, even if you've known someone for all your life, and even in marrying them for many years. Sometimes family issues just stay hidden very well because it's issues that have been very skillfully by people who are masters at hiding it.
Yes. Because, from what I understand, the girlfriend talked with the boyfriend before deciding on the move, and it probably would have passed up on the opportunity if he didn't want to go.
Yeah, there was a full, educated conversation. It was probably even took many days, maybe even weeks or months before anything was decided upon. It's dang. So, of course, they wouldn't, immediately choose on the first day of bringing it up.
I think
There's
so
the
I
girlfriend
think
was
you're right
obviously
in that scenario.
Okay.
Honestly, the way that the parents have acted and didn't they were, and like the woman said, she allowed the boyfriend to deal with the family drama on his own, so they wouldn't feel like that the son is being manipulated by the girl. He went there telling how he felt, and they refused him and instead went to her during a party that they invited her in, getting a situation where she's away from him and basically tried to more manipulate her into ditching the whole thing.
Yes. When you look at it from that perspective, that's definitely the parents are the assholes in there.
Especially when the father literally kicks her out when they realize that they're not getting their way.
Yeah, like that is just
by the fact that he's a grown adult.
This is like the most heated debate I've ever had with anyone.
I know, isn't it great?
Yes, it is. And I can understand how you're feeling about that situation with what you're dealing with, but at the same time, communication, it's something that is needed, but humanity fails so desperately at it.
Lady Kestrel said epically.
A good rant.
And sometimes having multiple perspectives helps you see the truth more clearly, because there's always two sides of the coin. There's his side, their side, and the truth.
The truth is usually
Lady Kestrel said they're in the room. Stayed.
Usually.
And I find that with a lot of people, when they're the whole crowd, it's easier to see both sides and the truth, opposed to one side versus the other side. We're all in agreement that the girlfriend is not the asshole.
The manipulative parents.
I mean, if they really are. Even aren't, the way they treated the whole situation was very, really iffy at best.
I mean, if I was the boyfriend, I would want to leave my parents after that and not contact them for a while, because you basically treated someone I love like they're crap. And
went behind his back.
Garbage.
And literally went behind his back. Yeah, behind his back during his younger sister's birthday party. So even if they weren't manipulative, that was a very bad move. Are you in agreement with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
picked one
know
yet.
someone that you love.
Lady Kestrel said yep.
Also, if not manipulative, they're at the very most controlling.
Helicopter parents.
If far away, we can't helicopter. We must keep you close for helicopter purposes.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
Who
horrible.
hasn't picked a story yet?
It's.
Who has picked one
Right now
yet?
'cause I haven't looked.
I'm ready to go, but I think Sarah hasn't picked one yet.
Sarah could do if she wants.
I'm a little now.
I think she might be
I could drop the
okay.
link if they want to.
Not the okay.
Pick a story.
Oh, Sarah's back.
Maybe. Sure, send me the link.
I've linked to the site, and you could just scroll down and pick
What do
something from the other ones. Like there's throwing
Oh,
an
Sarah, what did
iPad.
you think of the last thing?
Like quiet.
Controversial, I guess.
Hold on, let me see if you on half volume. No wonder you're quiet. Okay, I got you on full volume now.
Jeez, no wonder you guys can't hear me turning me all the way
I
down
had you on
like
full.
that.
I had you
You're
on full
ne-
volume. Muted for most
In
of the
fact,
time.
I'm just hitting everyone in full volume that I can. Discord naturally has you all in like half volume for some reason. So to manually get you guys into full volume, and I tend to forget to do that.
I had all of you on full volume.
I think I got you all in full volume now.
The very first one that popped up, if it has not been done yet.
Let's do it. Which one?
Something about antiques and a house.
We haven't done that one yet. Let's hear it.
Oh, post it too so I can read it.
Right here. Give me 1 moment. Yeah.
Ooh.
That works. What was the hair of it?
There we go.
Am I the asshole for throwing my pad in an acquaintance's house? Ah, the one that Sam posted. Aye.
Oh god, I think I misheard that one. For a moment, I thought they said throwing a pad at an acquaintance. That was
I mean,
I need to clean my ears out.
you have no problems there. I mean, if that was the case, I'd be like, the acquaintance must have done something. I mean, for starters, they probably entered the bathroom unannounced. That alone is enough to have anything thrown in your face, no matter what it is. Because you went into a bathroom, you went there knowing the consequences.
At least it was a tampon.
Am I right? Hey, if it wasn't tampon, it could be like a missile going into your mouth.
Has Kianna ever told you the story about how she actually killed a spider by throwing a Bible at it? It's really funny.
I actually have. It was hilarious. The best story ever.
I
Lady
think the
Kettle
Bible
said,
was funnier.
"What?
Funny, of
But
course I'm gonna
think
bring it
about
up.
Because, like, think about it. You're killing a spider with holy energy.
Yeah.
Holy!
But you know what though? You know what though? Like, we've all done stupid stuff when we saw a spider. One time I was sunning myself on this lawn chair next to a sprinkler. And the sprinkler was putting the water on me and I was like sun tanning in my bikini. So the spider's crawling up my leg and because it was the chairs in the storage unit under the house. And so I don't think anything of it's a full tarantula, by the way. And it's crawling up my leg. I can feel it going up my leg more and more. And at first I think it's just the sprinkler water. So then it's like crawling up my stomach. And then at this point it's right under my neck. Like it's on my neck. So I look down and I see it right there. And I jump up, fling it down, only it goes into my bikini top. So it's now in my bikini top, in my bosom. So I just ripped the whole bikini top off.
How I would have
bikini top off.
loved to be that spider. I would have loved to be that spider.
Lady Kestrel said, long story short. Was staying at mom's boyfriend's house.
No,
Was on the toilet.
No.
Large spider came in from underneath the door and at me. Took the nearest thing next to me was his.
I mean, I like spider cuties, but I hate spiders.
So I took
Okay,
my,
anyways,
I ripped off my bikini top off, and then I ran in the house. Oh, it gets worse. It gets worse. I ripped my bikini top off, and I ran in my house like Rudy there with his friends.
Sam.
Sam.
She terrifies spiders.
Yeah, how about we like put a pin on the spider story and let's have Sarah talk about the thing she posted. Yeah.
Okay, I'll be right back. I have to go pay.
Would have loved to see that incident because Sammy took her top off.
No spider. No spider.
Boobs. Boobs are the emphasis. Emphasis on
I have
soft.
my own boobs. I don't care. I
supple.
don't want spiders. No, it's you. So let's do the.
Lady Kestrel said to Fa, nightmare.
Can I see your tits? Hey, Tifa. Can I tits?
I feel the spider during the story, and it's not like.
Wow, I had no idea you were such a.
Not a matter of scary cat. You be an 8 or 7-year-old put into a closet full of spiders right after being forced to watch a horror movie about spiders. Put into the closet because you were screaming because
Conversation is just making me more hungry.
No,
spiders crawling in your mouth make you hungry?
No, can we not have this conversation at all?
I did not hear the mouth part, but no, I'm just, you know what, I'm just gonna go eat.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna do.
Alright, Sarah, let's go for it, because I think Tifa is having like a little crisis moment.
Not letting me look at it anymore?
I would alleviate your crisis, but I'm not in your bedroom.
Oh yeah. I guess I could read this one too, I guess.
Same one, I just posted it to the Discord, so you can scroll up and read it.
I met a dude on Tinder.
Lady Kestrel said he.
He. Right for you, lady. Quiet.
You to read the thing you posted.
I met a dude on Tinder a few weeks ago, and we seemed to really hit it off. We had a lot of the same hobbies, and I thought I sparked between us, and I shook out too. After we got past the talking phase, we decided to meet at his house for coffee. I arrived, we talked loads, and even held hands. However, I was on the 3rd day of my period, and after a couple hours I needed to change my pad. Hey, it is periods. You're right. Bathroom, and he directs me to it. After I finish changing, I notice this trash can is pretty full. Not sure what to do, I wrap it in toilet paper and sort of spit into the trash. On the edge. Oof. For about an hour, more to be excuses himself to the bathroom. A few minutes pass by and he comes out and he says he needs to talk with me. He states that I shouldn't have thrown away my pad because he might touch it when taking out trash, and that it was gross and unsanitary. Apparently, he said that the trash looked different, unwrapped the toilet paper, and saw my used pad. I was mortified, apologies profusely, and he seemed to take it well. He told me not to do it again, and if I need just walk a few blocks to the nearby grocery store and change. After that,
You've got to
not
be
think
kidding
too much
me.
of it. However,
That's crazy. Like, no one's gonna walk. Like, you know what? If he's gonna be that gross out, then no sex for him ever.
What's really gross is he unwrapped the pad. He dug in his trash can just to unwrap it. Hole. I wouldn't ever talk to this person again.
I did not mean to cut you off. I just had to jump in there. You can continue.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Honestly, it's a trash bin in the bathroom. What did they expect? You think they were gonna find
Lady
a toy in
Kestrel
the
said
ground?
disgusting degenerate.
That's all there was to the story.
There's lore at the bottom.
Listening.
Oh, however, I recounted the events to a few friends and they think he's the major asshole. I'm not entirely sure he was really kind about it and didn't seem to get angry, but I'm also starting to see their point too. It's a normal body process for people with the uterus, I agree. It should be more normalized. I'm just not sure what to think, and any judgment would be greatly appreciated.
Not the a-hole. Dump that
Agreed.
person as a
Not the
friend.
a-hole,
They
dump
they
that
are
person.
they are a piece of shit.
No sex
And
for
it's not
him.
even just the fact she wrapped her pad. He had to unwrap it. He was disgusting enough to dig in his trash can and unwrap the fucking pad. And all he would have been doing when taking out the trash is touching the toilet paper over the pad. And you wash your hands after you take out the trash anyway. Oh my god, he wouldn't have been touching any of the blood. God. You have to be a real pig, a real pervert to fucking do that.
That's actually where I was going with this. I bet you anything that he saw that it was her tampon, unwrapped it, and did like some sick pervert thing with it, and like put it back, and like he got embarrassed, and like she's gonna walk in and see like I can't have that. So like told her don't put it there because he had like no self-control to stop like from like I don't know whatever guys do to tampons. I know guys buy tampons on eBay, use tampons on eBay.
I only just got back, yet this guy sounds like a creep that you should not only dump, block, and maybe have a restraining order.
Yeah. I mean, just unwrapping the pad alone is disgusting. Like, you don't fucking do that. And if he didn't unwrap it, he would have just thought it was a fucking... It could have been just, seen as a fucking ball of fucking toilet paper. She could have blown her nose. But no, he had to fucking unwrap it. So yeah, I wouldn't put him potentially sniffing the damn thing, against him. He probably did. You real fucking pig to do that.
He's like an absolute pig.
Why? It's nasty blood. Why are you dude?
It's already in the trash, wrapped up. I think it's clear that the whole thing was covered.
Just take the bag from the ends. Do what you usually do when, like, getting the trash bagged up and throw it. Don't even need to touch it.
Swear, some guys are more girlier than girls. Oh my god.
Too?
He might actually be gay.
Thinking I've lost friends because, like, it's like they think that our vaginas have teeth or something. Just thinking about it makes them like just cringe and like creep out. Like, oh, I don't know this. Cooties, like, ew.
And is it like trying to reject his gayness or something?
That's he's being a pervert and like sniffing her tampon.
Maybe he's just a closet pervert who likes sniffing tampons, is what I'm thinking. Yeah, what Sammy said. I don't think a gay guy would have been interested in woman's trash. I'm sorry. He unwrapped the damn thing. I don't think.
Yeah, I think especially because he unwrapped the tampon.
It's not a matter of being gay. It's like, really, like, he just sounds crazy. He sounds like horribly gay. I mean, not crazy. Fuck. Mixing up.
Ms. Froststone said, I think he sounds like
no
he
one's
just has
asking
issues.
the real question. Does it blend?
Blend? If he's both a pervert and a gay.
Actually, the person did mention they wrapped the pad, and I actually, by the time wrapping my pad in toilet paper, it's a ball of toilet paper. I put layers and layers and layers and layers so that no one can see the blood.
Is I usually just like put it in there unwrapped, and I'll like take a piece of toilet paper and just throw it over the top so it looks like a perfectly white, smooth surface. So you would have had to have lifted that up.
I just mess with the thread and like shove it in there, so it's not even on the top layer at all. But yeah, you stay in my own bathroom, so it's like, I don't know.
Something I do is I'll carry like a bunch of random Ziploc bags. So if I ever need to change it and like there's nowhere to like dispose of the old one, I can just put it in a Ziploc bag and just keep it until I can throw it away. But I think the fact that her boyfriend made such a huge deal about it, that's just really weird. Like I think he's like either gay or he was like couldn't resist.
I don't think they are dating.
Sniffing his.
I think the title was Acquaintance.
Acquaintance.
Oh, I didn't hear that part.
Really
That
the title.
much. I don't think that much.
True. They met at
text for
Tinder.
him. Like a dating app.
I mean,
Said maybe he has hemophobia.
Blood?
Hemophobia? I honestly think he wouldn't go unwrapping something but that potentially has blood on it.
Yeah, instead of being angry, he'd probably just been traumatized and wouldn't see anything. Anyway, my bladder is calling
Unanimous.
me again. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
we're just getting
I think
started,
it's unanimous.
but now we're
that
talking
this-
about this.
Unanimous that this guy was the asshole about the girl.
Okay. Very good.
Like the fact he unwrapped it. Like no one does that. Like you know it. You know, what did you think it was? That she was throwing away like a pregnancy test? Okay, Kianna, would you like to pick the next one?
I'm sorry, but he still dug in. I'm sorry, but he still dug in the trash can to unwrap something.
Something that obviously like a tampon. Like you know what though? I could see if it was like a pregnancy test. Like if you wanted to unwrap it and see if it was a pregnancy test and if she was pregnant. But like, don't do that. Don't be like that. Like because it told that girl like she now knows that he unwrapped her tampon, and there was no scenario that that's a tampon or her pad. Either way, it's all messed up.
Kestra said I, 19M, made a blanket for my coworker, 24F, as a present for a baby boy that was due the next month. It was 100% cotton, handmade, and free, as it was just me being nice. Once he
Discord can't read that much at once. We really don't mind if it's loud in the background, but I can read it if you don't want to read it. Trash. Text trash. Okay. So, header is, am I the asshole for making a baby blanket my coworker's child baby was allergic to? Ended up being allergic to. So, learn that I don't think, because parents, if their child is born broken, it's their job to be monitoring that. And, like, they didn't ask, like, what's in this blanket? What's it made out of? But let's actually read and see what it says. 19 male made a blanket for my coworker, 24 female, as a present for her baby boy that was due next month. It was 100% cotton, handmade, and free, as it was just me being nice. Once he was born, she was overjoyed, but when she used the blanket to swaddle her son, he ended up getting a rash from the material. She blamed me and accused me of being inconsiderate and not taking caution of her child's allergy. I argued that he was a newborn and it was a gift, informing her that nobody can know of the allergies of their child before they are born, and demanded I made her a new blanket that her child wasn't allergic to. I refused because 1, she didn't pay me for anything in the first place, and 2, she refused to pay me for anything this time, and 3, I don't have time anymore as I have other orders to make for actual paying customers. I told her that I would reconsider if she offered to pay for the labor fee, and I could waive her material costs as a discount, but this wasn't good enough for her, so I gotta ask, am I the asshole not making her the blanket? No. I think that you are being very generous, and if her kid's born broken, that's her problem, not yours.
Yeah, tail end of that, but yeah, it's not there. It's not the knitter's problem. It's the mom's problem, because she could just like calm down and be rational. Because the person's right. Nobody knows what a baby's allergy is gonna be, especially since it was made before the baby was born. If this is
Too, I almost think it sounds like to me that the mother liked the blanket so much she made up the fact that it gave her child a rash just so he'd make her another blanket. Because have you ever heard of anyone being allergic to cotton before?
I have.
Yeah.
Cotton.
And also, there's some people allergic to water, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Who's allergic to water?
It's actually not that
People
active
that are
allergic.
allergic to water.
How can you live when you're allergic to water? Doesn't that mean you're guaranteed to die?
No, it's more so if it touches your skin, it burns the skin. Like water burns the skin, but they can drink it if it's distilled.
Yeah. Yeah, and also they do drink soda. I don't know what's in the soda that counteracts it, but yeah.
5% water most of the time. Either 65% water itself.
Yeah.
We
They're
don't
just
even,
lucky.
we don't
They're just
even
lucky
know
to
that
live.
was the blanket the kid was allergic to. It could have been like the fabric softener or the detergent or any one of those many things could have contributed to the allergy.
Or could it be something else that the kid was allergic to, and it's just everybody assumed it was a blanket.
Yeah, a cat laid on the blanket, or there's a cat in the house that sleeps next.
Ms. Frost Stowe said, I can see how a parent might get a little crazy about seeing their kid hurt, but if you don't like a gift, then that's just too bad. Compiling about it is just rude.
Complaining about his very
Free.
Yeah, the other lady, she was not being nice. That was a gift. That just sounded way too mean for someone who made you a gift. No matter who the gift was for, a gift is a gift. You don't just demand a new gift like that. That's the thing that makes you or banned.
Them to get anything given to you again.
Yeah,
Or eyes with you.
that behavior makes it so that other people spread this information, and people start. Your reputation is ruined, and it's because of your own action.
Hey.
There was once a time, like, I don't know if you know this, but I make wreaths for holidays. I'm really good at making wreaths. I have, like, pine wreaths and fabric wreaths, and, like, I make wreaths out of yarn and scarf and Robo Star wreaths, so I'm really good at making wreaths. So I thought, to be nice, I would make my coworkers all wreaths, like, for Christmas. And I made every single one of their wreath, and except for one person, I made, all of them that were fabric wreaths that were Christmas wreaths. Like, I went to the fabric store and I picked out some green, like that holly berry pattern, and like I put ribbons on it and ornaments and all that stuff. They were very, very, very pretty Christmas wreaths. Now, I had one friend who I know happened to be Jewish, and they work with me and they're Jewish. So I thought, well, I know they don't celebrate Christmas, so I will make them a blue and white wreath. Now, I don't know if you know this, but there's not a lot of blue and white Christmas material. So, like, I was the only thing I can really do is use snowmen or snowflake. So I took a blue fabric and I made the wreath like a bluish green, kind of like almost like a turquoise color. And I put the stuffing in it, I sewed it up nice, and then I put the ribbons on it, and they were white ribbons, and I put snowflake and snowman stickers on it. And I presented them that wreath, and they're like, oh, thank you. And I know what they were thinking, because everyone else had really beautiful, like really ornate and elaborately designed. I spent like upwards of 3 hours per the normal wreaths, and there wasn't really much I could do on the Jewish wreath, because, you know, they don't have like Christmas trees or Christmas stars or Christmas cookies. They celebrate Kwanzaa or Hanukkah, one of the two. So then my friend told me that he was telling everyone else that I didn't like him because I gave everyone else these really beautiful, fancy, big wreaths, and his wreath was a little bit smaller because, like, the material I used was smaller because I thought, how am I going to fill this wreath if it's just snowman and snowflakes? Everyone else is like snowman, snowflakes, gingerbread man, holly berries, Christmas trees, stars, angels, like the works, and his is just snowman and snowflakes. And so I talked to him, I was like, dude, why are you complaining when I made you a wreath out of the goodness of my heart? and like you don't even celebrate Christmas, like because like it's nice to feel included. You made everyone else these really pretty wreaths, and then here I got this little tiny rinky-dink ones. Like, would you like a Christmas wreath? And like, no. So stop complaining. Like, what did you want from me? Like, do you not notice that there's not a whole lot of Hanukkah or Kwanzaa stuff to work with? And then they got mad at me too because I didn't know the difference. I don't know about you, but I don't know the difference between them. I know one has 9 candles, one has 11 candles, or 12 candles. So
Hanukkah is the Hebrew holiday, Jewish holiday.
I know it feels with the lamp and symbolizing how the oil kept burning way past.
Yeah. The oil lamp burned for 8 days, hence the menorah has 8 holders, and the one in the middle, the extra one, is actually the one where you light the menorahs, different candles on the different days.
And I know that Hebrews have like a Star of David symbol as well.
Yes.
So...
Hey,
But, like,
I
that
hate
one's
to
like a
cut this short, but
six-started
I
star.
actually gotta go, because, I gotta go because I do have an inspection tomorrow, so I gotta continue cleaning my apartment or I'm not gonna pass.
Okay,
Alright,
take care,
good
Yuka,
luck.
and I hope the best of luck.
I'll try to join you guys next time. Bye.
Alright,
Bye.
see you later. Good luck. Alright, I've gotten to do one yet. I think I did 2, Kestrel did 1, Dr. Steve did 2. I think it's just, and Sarah did 1, so it's just at this point, it's Chica and Stacy.
You do one.
Penguin.
Want to do a look? I mean, I'm looking myself, so.
I found
it
one.
before I went upstairs.
It's along the same lines as the one we just did. Like, am I the asshole for not paying my boyfriend to drive me from work?
But yeah.
Well, why don't we hear Turtles?
Okay.
Want to tell us, Turtle?
Here's the one that I found. Let me just get to it. Asshole for correcting a false rumor about my disability.
I wouldn't say so.
The title alone makes me say not an asshole, because you're correcting a false rumor on your own disability. You're correct something that has been tossed into the wind falsely. That isn't assy behavior. That is just what any person would do.
Mm-hmm. So, this is really weird. I, 20-year-old female, I think that's what the F is for, have been volunteering at a community garden since the start of lockdown last year. I need volunteer hours for my college program, and I've always liked gardening and the outdoors, so honestly, pretty fun. Over the past few weeks, I've just other volunteers and the volunteer coordinator treated me strangely. They talk to me slowly, assuming I don't understand basic math, fractions for mixing fertilizer, and out when I drive myself rather than having my mom drop me. As well, last week the coordinator, Kathy, 40-ish, female, if I was comfortable working in the garden alone while she went to get coffee. I told her sure, and I kind of laughed because I'm an adult and, well, it's a public place. She said she loves that I'm so independent, but is concerned that my mom wouldn't like her to leave. I politely said that I was 20 years old and checking with my mom wasn't necessary. She said something about my disability. After lots of questions, she admitted that another volunteer had told her that I had an intellectual disability and a mental age of an 8-year-old.
The mere fact that you're having a civil conversation with a person should give you a hint that their mentality is likely not that of an 8-year-old. I mean,
I was honestly shocked. I told her I was in college and my intelligence was normal. I said, clearly, I don't have any disability. I asked Kathy who had started the rumor, and she wouldn't say. Now, Kathy's texted me and said she didn't like the way I responded, that I acted like a disabled person, or lesser, or didn't want to be associated with them. This isn't true at all. I haven't responded. I need some neutral opinions. Am I the asshole?
No,
Miss
no, you're
Frost
not.
Stone
It
said
sounds like
what's
this
wrong with them
other
that someone
girl is
would
totally
believe
an
it.
asshole. It's probably the one who was trying to frame this quote-unquote disability rumor. I'm just...
Lady
Like, I don't
Kestrel
know.
said not the asshole.
I agree. Like, I think the lady was the asshole for getting mad at her, thinking that she was assuming that she was better than people with disabilities when she herself has a disability. Like, I'm pretty sure everyone in this group right now has a disability to some extent, and it does not affect your life at all, really. Like, I'm told I have chronic mood swings, and I have that other one that currently escapes my... I haven't actually been diagnosed yet because I haven't gone to therapy, but I probably have it. And dyslexia, I have dyslexia too. And I think the fact that this lady is saying, like, oh, just because you have a disability, your mother would be upset with and left you because you're so incapable of managing basic fractions, and you might get in trouble here and walk into a stranger's car and get kidnapped because you're just so stupid or something. Like, I think that lady is thinking that people with disabilities are lesser than her, the fact that a woman with a disability was seen to be beneath her like that.
Yeah, kind of Karen a little bit.
I did.
Kathy is one too. Like, Kathy's always Kathy, Pam, and Karen.
What about
Miss Frost Stone said dyslexics untie.
Dyslexic, that was funny. Dyslexic untie. Hi. High five.
Feel this person's pain because, like, I have Asperger's syndrome, which is on the autistic spectrum because they said Asperger's is not an actual thing, so now you're just autistic. Like, anyways, aside, I feel for this person because apparently they're not on any spectrum whatsoever, and they were still have a spectrum because her mom picks her up.
Like, that should be like the mom. They might live together. They might spend a lot of time together and just, oh, hey, I'm coming by after work. Do you want to go and get a coffee? Sure. And the mom picks her up. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Like, I don't know, maybe the parent has a good relationship with her child. Didn't you think of that?
Yeah, Kathy
People
needs
just
to get her
assumed.
back together.
What I think is Kathy likes to be mom, and if the person in question's like has a disability or has a childlikeness, she's like, oh, I could be a mom like her.
No, that sounds creepier than you probably thought intended.
And when the person is found to not have the issues. I know it sounds creepy, but it's like I feel like the Kathy's trying to mom the person with the questions that they're asking, and when they like the answers,
so
they
creepy. I'm sorry, it's just that alone sounds creepier than than normal actors. That's creepy.
I'm sorry.
I think we're like a queen sweep for the asshole is Kathy. Sarah, do you want to wait?
I think I did make that worse.
Are you okay, Sarah?
Oh, yeah. I kinda wasn't paying attention of it. Oof. I was looking at the Reddit stuff.
That's
I
fair.
streamed one.
That's myself, so you get a pass. Give you some time, then
I
it'll be
was sitting here reading some of these weird stories.
Just pick one you think about and just go with it. That's what I've done. I got one that I'm willing to post, ready to post whenever. Just I'll wait until after Sarah.
Huh?
I don't.
Yeah, Sarah. Sarah has.
You can if you like.
Yep.
Like, me and Tifa are like dominating this, and Sarah and Chica and Taste and Cashel have not done that many.
Posted one. I got the second one done now, but it's like I'm talking.
Yeah, I think I'm really talking to you in the group.
If you guys want to read it, here you go.
Fine, Tifa.
These sounds, it almost sounds like when she says Tifa, it's like, the fuck? Winnow or Tasty uses the text-to-speech to
Lady
communicate.
Kestrel
Instead of
said
saying
text-to-speak is trash.
Text-to-speech. Text-to-speech.
Those things are good.
Read it there.
For a while, I
and
feel
judge.
like
What was the header?
and my boss would. Huh? Oh,
The header.
I
You always
also
start.
tell me a customer not to come back.
Can you
Post it.
She said he asked asshole for telling a customer not to come back. I would say no.
I mean, if someone
This got a wife and is not families anymore. Yes.
Alright, well, get to reading.
So while I felt like I did the right thing in the moment, and my boss already confirmed that I will not be in trouble for this, I feel like I was a major asshole in this situation. So I was 22, work in a liquor store. Our staff is pretty small, 9 people total, and we are very close. Likely weekly potluck, everyone cake on their birthdays, frequently buying each other breakfast, lunch, dinner during the shifts. As such, we talk to each other about what's going on in our personal lives. Recently, one of my co-workers, a 49-year-old female, has been going through a nasty divorce. Her ex moved her 10-year-old daughter friend and 19-year-old and then started having an affair with her recently. We all learned that Kay is pregnant, obviously. We are all disgusted. This man has grandkids that are 6 and 4, and thankfully he hasn't really shown his face around the shop. Until last night, when Jay decided to shop with Kay in tow. Thankfully Elle was all wet. So it was just me and another co-worker. Kay come in and go to get a soda at the store, and Pearlie's plus the families get free drinks, which had applied to Jay up until the divorce. I was biting my tongue up until they came to the counter. Jay asked for a pack of cigarettes, which I got them and told him the total, which included both drinks. He told me that I forgot to start charging for the drinks, to which I replied that due to the fact that he is not family to any employee, he would not be paying for them. Apparently, that was the wrong thing to say, because Jay got pissed. He started to say that he had been getting free drinks for almost 5 years, and that he shouldn't change, just because he and Elle are having marital troubles. I told him that the price stands as is, and at this point Kay shows up. That is pathetic. We are all mistreating him. Just because he ditched his wife and found someone better, I informed him that sleeping with an old enough I informed her that sleeping with a man old enough to be her grandfather isn't cute, and maybe she should try a new personality other than home wrecker. Jay proceeded to yell at me to mind my business, and that what is going on has nothing to do with me. They both then started cussing at me and misgendering me. At this point, I was at the end of my rope, and I told him to, and I croaked, "Just get the fuck out, and don't bother coming back. Everyone knows a disgusting piece of shit you are. Don't expect to ever get service here again." They left at the cussing after a few times. The end.
Okay, they have to cussing
Wait,
a few more times.
There's actually a bit more.
I just told y'all, and she said that, well, she appreciated me wanting to stick up for her, but I had gone way too far, and that it was not my place to ban a customer. My manager called me this morning and told me that Jay had filed a complaint. I explained what happened, and she ranted and what Kay had said, but I have gone too far. Think more about it's more I agree.
I say no. They're disgusting. And, like, do you really want that kind of money? And, you know, it's not the end of a couple of customers are lost. Especially when the reason for it gets put in public. Because that wouldn't that be considered pedophilia? I don't know. I
think
That's
morally she's not the asshole, but like she really didn't have any merit to do that. But I almost kind of like that she did it anyway. Like good for her sticking up for herself and for her friends. Like not a lot of people would do that, and she stuck her neck out for them. And if anyone wants to give her
they were
trouble for
cussing at her. Like they were cussing at. They were
being total bitches and like, could have done so much worse if it was me. They're my actual bodies.
They were
And
definitely
technically
lost
they're not
eyes.
married anymore, so technically they can get free stuff.
So yeah, their quote-unquote arguments were invalid because, again, he dumped his wife for how long? For this homewrecker?
Yeah.
And thanks he... No.
Why are you expecting at the family discount when you literally divorced your family that was working here?
Guys, disgusting.
Yep.
What? Who's found one?
I got one. Hold on. Wait, it's the right link. I need to double check. Of the one with the parents and the dog.
No, I haven't. Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay. Am I an asshole? Well, I don't know what the WIBTA is, so I'm just going to reiterate. Am I an asshole for telling my parents my dog didn't want to be with them? My BF and 20-year-old Mel on Monday live with my parents to my college shutting down, but I'm moving in the next 2 months. When I first went to college, like 2 years ago, I got approved for ESA. My parents got her for me. Emotional support animal. I realized what that ESA was. My parents got her for me. She's super cute, black Labrador, Labradoodle, whom I love very much. My parents never liked her and thought she was a nuisance to the other dogs before I went to school, because she was a puppy. They never wanted her to be downstairs because she was chaotic. Now she's super sweet and well-behaved due to my boyfriend's training. Because of this, my parents are obsessed with her now, to the point that they will call her their grand dogter. Roll eye emoji. It annoys me because they say I don't take care of her, which is absolutely not true. They take her out of the room while I'm sleeping, like 30 minutes after I go to sleep, even though she loves to cuddle. And then I say keep her trapped in my room and she never wants to be there. Again, not true. I leave the door open for her to go out or in freely. Since I work nights, I'm home during the night time and let her out of their room that she's been in for several hours to give her attention to let her outside. The other day she refused to go back in their room, like literally ran and hid behind my boyfriend, so I didn't put her back in there. I don't know what the WBTA is. Can someone tell me? Does anyone know what? Okay.
Google, because Google's always the place to go. It's standard. Would I be the asshole similar to AITA? So would I be the asshole?
Okay. If I mention it to them, since they try to make it out like she likes them more and just doesn't want to be around me. I've told them how it made me feel before, if that matters. Also, if I can figure out how to upload a picture of her, I would, if anyone's interested. In all honesty, I feel like your parents are a bunch of assholes who need to get their shit out, their heads out of their own asses. I'm just...
I think if you keep reading at it, reason why I haven't really said much to them about it is because every time I ask why they do this, my mom always cries and says because my dog helped her through when her personal dog died in September 2019. So going off that last little bit of
they're literally stealing their daughter's emotional support animal that they got for her because she needed it. And if anything, the parents are grade 8 assholes. Grade 8.
I think that
and too.
Like it's not parents are hurting the animal.
Daughter, that's what's pissing me off. And like the animal wouldn't be around them is getting scared of them, so they're probably descending into insanity.
Yeah. Well, I think
if someone literally runs away from you, that
like if she wants to come and keep the dog, that's fine. But if not, then it's also fine.
Yeah, I mean, not the asshole if she does or if she doesn't. I'm just saying the parents have to get their shit together if they're doing this.
Agreed.
Especially since they weren't treating the puppy good at all when she was a puppy.
Yeah, that's probably why dog doesn't like them now. They're not dumb. I remember.
There's so many people on a meta. Don't mind me. Oh, boy. Alright. So we're all in agreement. Dog owner, daughter is...
Yeah, she's not perk. I have another one, but I'm going to let somebody else go unless it's okay for me to go.
Anyone else?
I have one.
What are your all thoughts?
My thoughts are the dog owner is not the problem.
Yeah, like this
Parents
one's
are the
pretty open
problem.
and shut.
Because I think they're trying to use the dog as an excuse.
Turtle.
Sorry.
Tell me your idea. What's your thoughts?
Oh, let's just say I found a doggy one as well.
Well, I think dog owners' parents are trying to use the dog as an excuse to keep the dog owner staying at the house instead of going to live with her boyfriend.
I know. If it is, but totally not cool.
Like how posted. Murder now comes with friends.
I'll hide the axe.
Oh, wait, Rowan.
I'll dig the hole. I'm going to be digging the hole.
Add to the ramen.
Because if you give me an axe,
yeah.
there's going to be a lot of holes that need to be made instead of just one.
I'll make the ramen.
I could get the body too, because I'm really good at carrying dead weights. You can ask Kianna. Okay,
What about the options would you be?
Lee Kestrel sell those who fuck with animals.
So you're the one with the axe. Kitty's in this team. Okay, Kitty with the axe. Sam is body. I'm digging the hole.
I ordered a pizza.
And Turtle is our food company.
Hi, Dad.
Inform the penguins of Macadamia Island.
Aww.
Aww.
The Sammy.
I've seen that multiple times, but I didn't know if you guys already done it, so I just scrolled it down. So
this is because this one could be like really like fiery. I'm paying my boyfriend's Uber prices for picking me up from work.
How expensive it is, I guess. Have the money for it.
Yeah, I'm working somewhere else. It is 20 euros to get an Uber home. I use the app often enough that I get regular discounts up to 30%. My boyfriend offered to pick me up from work. After I told him the price of the Uber, sometimes he got us home. It's a 30-minute ride. About 20 miles after, he asked me to pay him. I said fine, I don't mind paying petrol costs. He said I'd have to give him 20 euros because he went out of his way to get me, and I would have given it to an Uber driver. He insists that it makes no sense for me not to pay him what I would give to another Uber driver. I told him that that's different because he's my boyfriend and an Uber driver is a service. I told him I'd give him 10, which he wasn't happy about. Am I the asshole for not giving him what Am I the asshole for not giving him what I would give a normal Uber driver? It's not like I'd pay the price of a Starbucks coffee if my boyfriend made me a cup of coffee. I would agree 100%. Like, he should be doing that out of the courtesy of his own heart, not because he's doing it as a service.
Yeah, if he was going to do it as a service, he should have said it so from the very beginning instead of making it sound like it was a free ride. That is called a asshole.
Eggsy.
The rest of you. Okay. So what about Turtle? What about Kitty? Miss Frostone and Sarah and Shadow. What are y'all's thoughts?
I asked her if they're dating after all. I'm sure she could do something nice later in the future.
Yeah, like
I mean,
in the
if they
boudoir.
stay dead.
It's in the boudoir.
Froststone said she should have paid him but made him suffer for it later.
I mean, I'm fishy about the whole apologize thing, because, like, that sounds like something a manipulator would say when they feel like their jig is up or is getting close to being unraveled.
I'm 50 on it. I'm neutral party.
It's food.
Or pay with your butt. Like, that was my
What
boyfriend.
about
You'll
Barbie?
never get to
I
see
guess-
me.
The clothing. Just cut it off at a time.
Kind of like her.
The poker. That's interesting. Really. Oh, wait, I know that song. That's Barbie Girl from Aqua.
Yeah, let's sing it. I'm a Barbie girl in a
Lady
Christmas
Kestrel said
world.
Sam.
So fantastic. So fantastic. You can brush my hair. Undress me
Guys,
anywhere.
Sam, look at the. Oh, look at the. Oh my god.
That cat's a force user.
Just hate that song so much.
I like it. She's the one who hates it.
I'm guessing y'all have dollies.
No, it's Barbie.
My sister Christy, she made like the most best lyrics for it, and it's like a Barbie girl in a Christmas world, cool on hot pink stockings. You can hold my coat. I'll take off my winter coat.
Okay.
Petting reindeer, spreading yellow cheer. Come on, Barbie, Christmas party. I'm a girl in a Christmas world.
Y'all know there's things here like
I think we're killing Kitty.
I got coats, scarves, and hats. I'm like nobody fat. Frosty air, platinum hair, Christmas bimbo. I've got presents galore. Go ahead and take some more. Cause I'm rich, Christmas bitch. You're ho ho ho. You can touch. You can play. If on your nice list to stay. You can touch. You can play. If on your nice list to stay. Oh,
Oh god. Also, turtle.
Yes.
I
Got
just
that.
had to killer sing Barbie Girl while stripping.
we'd have to take that on the air.
Anyway, I found another Reddit thing if we're still doing the Reddit thing.
Yeah, let's go. A lot of fun, yeah, but this is a grand idea.
And I'm removing tree roots from my yard. Now
It took
apparently,
us-
apparently they, the people on here said that the person was the jerk for doing it. But what is your opinion?
I would think if the trees roots like the tree's roots are messing up your plumbing, or like they're making it so you can't plant flowers because the roots of the tree are killing the flowers on your lawn, I would see that as that other person's asshole. But let's actually hear the thing and see where it goes.
I mean, if the roots are causing you personal problems and it's on your property, you have a right to deal with what's on your property.
Okay. My family and I moved into a new home this spring. We have previously lived in apartments and we now have our first yard for our kids to play in. The neighborhood we moved into has a lot of mature trees, and this being the first time I've had to do my own yard work, there has been a learning curve. One of my neighbor's yards is separated from ours by a chain link fence. There's a large tree just on their side of the fence. Some roots from the tree spread into my yard, and some of them are growing on the surface of the ground. They are visible and above ground quite a bit. About a month ago, my kids were running around playing. My daughter tripped on one of the roots, fell, and ended up breaking her wrist trying to catch herself.
Yeah, again, I have no issue with her getting rid of the roots because of that, because the roots were literally causing harm to her children.
Exactly, that gets a lot.
So that's
trees roots going there.
Yeah, if it's a liability, that's more than enough reason to get rid of the roots. No matter.
Of course, this was upsetting to my wife and I, and she pretty much told me to do something about the roots so this didn't happen again. So I bought some tools and started tearing the roots up the best I could. I got them out to the point nothing is sitting above ground anymore, and filled the top in with fresh soil and grass seed. My neighbor must have noticed the work I did because he made a comment about
the what? What happened?
Riddle? What did you last year? Just a sec.
The neighbor noticed.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
We can
notice. Let me get back. My neighbor must have noticed what I did because he made a comment about fresh soil. I told him I had to remove some roots since my daughter tripped on one. He asked what I meant by remove, and I told him I dug out a bunch and cut them out as I could. He got pissed and told me I probably killed his tree. I told him that removing a few roots is gonna hurt the tree that big, and they were a tripping hazard. And since they were in my yard, I did what I needed to do to remove them. He told me there are other ways to deal with roots instead of cutting them out, causing stress to the tree, and he would gladly have helped if I had asked. And he said the tree is probably going to die, which means it's probably going to have to be removed. Instead, the tree that large is going to cost thousands of dollars to take out.
Again, it's not your problem. It's his problem.
Well, I'm kind of
that
like I
sounds
have.
ridiculously expensive.
Go on.
Hold your cups until I'm done. He said if the tree dies and he has to cut it down, he's going to ask me to pay for some of it because of what I did to the roots. I told him good luck with that and that I'm not paying anything for his fee. He called me an asshole and told me the previous neighbor at least had the decency to ask for help when they didn't know what the hell they were doing instead of doing damage to other people's property. I told my wife about it, and she thinks the guy is just being a jerk and agrees with me that taking a few roots from the top ground isn't going to hurt a tree that big. She also agrees there's no way in hell we're going to pay for anything for this guy's trees. We're just making sure our yard is safe for our kids to play in. It's not our fault his tree grew roots into our yard.
It sounds like his previous neighbors never had children or cared.
I have beautiful lilac trees. I have a beautiful poison oak tree. And if you didn't know, poison oak, while very beautiful, is technically an invasive species since it's of the poison oak variety. So while beautiful, the roots just go crazy. And I would be very mad if somebody, like my neighbor, well, it wouldn't be a problem because of where I live, but let's say hypothetically I had neighbors where the roots of my poison oak tree would potentially go into their yard. I would be more than mad if they cut the roots of my beautiful poison oak tree or my lilac tree. And I think that he just mentioned to the person before starting to hack and slash at the tree.
Yeah, well, he had a kid who tripped and fell and broke a wrist. What if instead of wrist, what if the child broke their neck?
Or their skull. And died.
Well, it seems to me like some kids are just accident prone. Like, she could see that there's roots all over the place. Like, what? It's not like it's nighttime and Halloween.
Hello?
Kids don't pay attention to their surroundings when they're having fun.
Not to mention, this time they had property, it's their first home. They have a right to their own property. No matter how wild the roots are, If the roots are going to other people's property, the first thing you should do is like talk things out to the neighbor.
Exactly.
Because
exactly
you're not responsible for. No, I'm talking about the neighbor. The neighbor should be the one, since it's their tree. And they knew about the root problem before they moved. So the owner should have had the courtesy to talk first before it became an issue. Because
like, there's many things you can do before. There's many things you do. You can build a mulch bed under the tree's canopy. You could overplant the air with ground covering plants like bushes and hyacinths and flowers. Or like pruning is always like a last resort because it does.
What if the neighbors just wanted a clear yard for their child to play in? We don't even know how big the yards are, so the yards are probably not big enough for all of that.
Yeah.
And the neighbor didn't tell.
Trees are big.
Priority to trees. Just saying, children, actual human life takes priority over tree.
But you know
Not
what?
to mention, they probably didn't know. The kids probably thought there was a danger with the trees anyway, since this is their first yard, the first time they had something big enough to run around and play in. They didn't know the dangers of tree roots.
People, like, they saw the house before they bought it. No one in their right mind would buy a house without looking at it, and they could see that the tree roots are there, and that could potentially pose a threat if children are being ignorant. Like, I hate my lawn. But like, this is a scenario where the trees are really beautiful, and plants are really beautiful, and I think.
Okay, so you're saying that the neighbor with the tree should have won the argument. Then that neighbor should have just gotten the property themselves, since they're so obsessed with their tree. And all for anyone.
It's not hard.
Ms. Froststone said if your home improvement costs the people next to thousands of dollars, that's kind of on you.
Yeah, see, Tasty gets it, because if that tree dies, then they're going to have to pay to have that tree removed, and a tree of that scale could cost, like, thousands to come out.
There's a lot of roots on the tree, though. If it's a really, really big tree, they just remove... Because we had removed a bit of root before from one of our trees, and our tree is, like, really, really big. But it was fine. And just, like, we removed only a little bit of root. Just the part that was causing people to trip and get themselves hurt. There's probably just like a little bit of root that was tucking up.
If the tree was really that big enough, it probably has a root system big enough to compensate.
Alright, well, I think then the neighbors are being the asshole. I think how big the tree is, and because like if they kill their tree, then that's not cool.
I mean,
they're really trying to kill the tree. They would have put poison on it.
It probably would have been an edit. So the fact that there isn't an edit likely means that the tree is alive.
So I think that.
How old is it?
This is 2 days ago.
Okay, so it's still fresh. It's like brand new.
So let's hold off. If there's any new news on it, there's nothing happened, then the likelihood of the tree still being alive is high.
So let's just assume for right now that it lives. I think if that's then the neighbors being like overreacting, because that tree actually literally could have killed that little girl. I do think the little girl's really stupid and death prone, but it could have technically killed her if she tripped on it and like she fell and broke her neck. Like she literally broke her arm, and that probably cheap, and it was like a traumatizing experience for the child. But on the other hand, like, but let's assume it doesn't kill the tree. I think the neighbor with the tree is the asshole.
True or no true, it's just like a child. Life and well-being takes priority to tree. I'm sorry, offensive, but that's just stand. Because
have you heard of those?
You can get a new tree. You can get a new tree. You
could have a new child too.
Oh wow, I know who is quick to replace children.
I will replace children if they are dumb enough to like chop down a beautiful tree. Because like without trees, we wouldn't be able to survive. There would be no oxygen, and there'd be no shade for the smaller plants, and all of this. It would throw off the whole balance of the ecosystem.
I mean, I could see your point, but at the same time, with a mom trying to her baby as well as the father, they're willing to do anything they need to in order to protect them. So, and it's not like they went over the fence to chop down the tree itself.
Yeah, they didn't chop the tree down.
But
they just took care of the roots. That was... Oh, alright. So, newsflash. Basically treating the roots cutting as if they were stabbing someone in the chest, when it's like more or less comparable to a cut.
That is not with trees. You can chop down their branches. Trees are very hardy most times, and they can take a little bit. But like if they were like hacking with the wrong tools, like it could cause the tree to be in shock. And if it fell over, like if it died and fell over, it could just as easily crush both houses at once. And then they would all be dead, because it would crush them in their house while they were sleeping.
Well, let's just assume that the tree is still alive. It's just 2 days old post.
Miss Froststone said if they chopped the tree down, then the tree owner wouldn't still have to pay for removal.
Okay. So
that's actually
anybody else has new?
Sarah, you want to pick one? Find one that has a kind of, like, I don't like the open and shut ones because they're kind of boring.
And one with dog in it.
Perfect. I love dogs.
But my friend that has designed a dog isn't cute.
To their own opinions. So
agreed.
A dog doesn't look cute to you.
I think greyhounds and whippets, they don't have like any fur. Like they look like they've been shaved. I don't like that. I like the floofy dogs that have like tons of fur on them.
No one's entitled to that. An opinion.
I am currently in university. I have a friend who I've met while I've been at university since they are studying the same course as me. However, to say my friend is snobby would be an understatement. I want to make it clear that I don't have an issue with this per se, more so with how he goes about it. He only wears designer clothes, since he tells me he has been able to save money by staying at home for university, and I've never seen him wear the same outfit twice. He also constantly talks about the holidays, him and his go, and on about and how he wants to go into fashion as a career after university, even though he's studying young. When I asked him about why studying a fashion-related degree at underage level, he told me he wanted to study something easy that he could get a good grade in, so he has something to fall back on. I've been able to put up with until yesterday I met up with him and some of my other friends to go to the mall. When we sat down, he decided to show off his new HuskyPoo puppy. He told us that he got a HuskyPoo since he thinks they're really cute, and made sure they had a replaceable breeder. Everyone else was obsessing over the dog, but me. I asked him about why he felt the need to get a designer dog breed when there's so many poodles and huskies that are in shelters and need homes. He told me that his family already has a dog, so he didn't want to risk getting a dog from a shelter since there's no way to be certain of the dog's past, and he didn't want to risk the dog potentially not getting along with his current dog. I told him that he was being mandatory toward the shelter dogs, and that his logic was part of the reason why there's such a stigma toward shelter dogs. I finished off saying that I also don't find his dog cute. My friend seemed annoyed by what I had told him, and everyone else just kind of sat there in silence. He didn't speak to me for the rest of the day, and still hasn't spoken to me since. After I got home, one of my friends who was in the group called me to tell me that I was being a dick by doing what I did. We got into an argument. Now she hasn't spoken to me either. Am I the asshole?
Yes. Let's look at this as a HuskyPoo. HuskyPoos are one of the cutest dog breeds there are. Like, they're cuter than whippets. And, like, she's saying that this dog is an ugly freak. Like, no. That dog is a cute little marshmallow. Like, how dare she? How dare she?
Your issue was with the person. Let me say it. I can understand upset with the guy, and her anger with.
How was that?
Yeah, it's just how she went about her anger is what was wrong. But again, I can. One of those cases of you said something that you're gonna regret later. You just haven't noticed yet. How old is the post? If the post is less than 24 hours long, then she's already gonna know that answer.
I have to just.
Everyone's
Sorry, I think the fact that she attacked an innocent little husky poo just means that that lady is a monster.
Like I said, she is an asshole. It's just she's an asshole who was probably hurting, and the guy wasn't doing to the dog. It's not the dog's fault, but it's like the two should have had a conversation. Things boiled over when it could have been to solve before the incident, and shit happened.
Like sometimes,
at least that's
what I'm a strong supporter of not shop, but I think another thing people don't consider is like if they want a specific look. Like for example, the husky poo has a very distinctive look, as does the husky, as does the whippet. Like when you see a whippet, you immediately know that's a whippet. So with the you can find poodles, you can find maybe a husky in the pound if you're lucky. Having a purebred ensures that it looks like the way you want it to look, and it also comes with the more traditional traits of that breed. For example, poodles are very intelligent, collies are really intelligent. I think whippets are also intelligent, whereas Labradors are more friendly and child-friendly, and Chihuahuas are yappy little drop-kick dogs. So I think there's nothing wrong with the fact that he went to a reputable breeder at that for the husky poo. I think the problem here stems down to this lady just doesn't like the guy, so she was finding anything she could do to attack him for her, like the dog, because she personally didn't like husky poos.
It's again a case study of things boiling over on a personal matter, which resulted in things being said. It's like a situation where the best situation would have been just to leave before the comment about the dog. That's just, it's one of those situations where some days you just have to leave out of the conversation before you do something you know you're going to regret.
Yeah,
and
I
the
actually.
girl did. Yeah, she was an asshole.
I learned this really passive way to disarm arguments, where I don't know if you're actually supposed to say this. Tasty might remember because it was part of our career training, where if we feel like we're being, things are getting too intense, like you're supposed to just say like, okay, you're starting to hurt my feelings and remove yourself. I'm going to remove myself from the situation. And I find that if you actually tell people things are getting really intense, I need to remove myself from the situation because I don't like the way you're treating me, that it actually is like a major burn on them. Like they don't like that's like major passive aggressive.
It's just, if they get upset for that, that's on, but your mental and emotional health is important, and it's better than doing what she did. Bringing an innocent, in this case, animal. And so yeah, she is an asshole, it's just, it was also not a good situation that really didn't have any good options for her in the full run. It's just, she ended up picking one of the worst picks. And so yeah, it's something she's definitely gonna regret. And yeah, she did the assholes. I sympathize her situation a little from past experience. I just chose the route of like piecing out, and still ended up having. No, I just don't like people hating me.
You're very, very wise. Like, I find that you're very, very,
I am
very
not
wise.
wise. No, I'm not wise at all. No, I'm not. I am
like, you
far
have
from being wise.
You have so much, like, and, like, wisdom, and, like, you're so profound with your thinking. You're the best problem solver.
I am not. Don't come to me for problems. No. Please,
Like,
someone
normally-
help me. Please, bring up an argument. Please, someone tell her I am not a problem solver. Tell her I am a mess. Someone tell her. Kitty, turtle, please.
I mean,
The
you
fact
can, so you're also a hot mess. You're usually a hot mess and a problem solver.
like with me,
Stroll said Tifa must be worshipped.
Yes, she must.
Ms.
No.
Froststone said Pi has no business being on pizza.
It's kind of like things though, where like I'm usually everyone's go-to. Like everyone comes to me for their problems. Like Sammy, help! My boyfriend's being an asshole. Or Sammy, help! This guy's stalking me on Reddit. Or help, Sammy! They're coming for me. The mob. I need help. I need a fake ID. Get me out of here. And so like for me, when I have problems, I come to you, and you have this like so calming and reassurance, and like this wisdom and experience, and like you know exactly what to say. Like you are like a legend problem solver, and Tifa must be worshipped, but not in a creepy way like the feet fetish people.
No.
Because me and Kianna have experience with this guy named Dylan, and he pushes
Tifa, you have somebody. You have somebody that looks up to you. Congratulations.
No. Guys, save me. I wasn't planning on this. I don't want this. No.
He's modest and shy.
No, I'll mess up.
Modesty
Your
isn't-
opinions on me will change, and you'll end up hating me.
Ms. Froststone said she used to come to me with problems. I pass the torch on to you now.
Yeah, I am to Daisy with my problems, but now I think like Tifa, a go-to problem solver.
No.
Oh my god, you sound like a puppy.
You are Yuka.
Cute.
Lady Kestrel said Tifa is a glorious being.
I said that you're a hot mess, but that doesn't change the fact that it's her opinion, and her opinion is her opinion.
Yeah, I know.
This.
You're making a brave mistake.
I make mistakes.
Yeah, you're definitely a Sophie.
Yeah, like you're being in the words of Kestrel. Do you want?
Which one?
I don't know.
You guys. Worship me. You're making it great. No, all of you are all.
Well, I'm
Not
sure
awesome.
that better than most of the people in here.
Lady Kestrel said you will
every
be
now and
worshipped.
then- Yep. Waiting here so we can ask you for pictures of his feet. Like that's when you know that you've done something right. When you got creepy internet guys asking for feet pictures. There was nothing wrong with him.
Most awesome and also the cutest,
I
but
don't wanna
Tifa
get
is the
involved
problem
with
solver.
What's going on? I am not awesome. No.
Have you met yet?
Want to know who that is? I am going to be a penguin.
Well, you know what?
I'm
Now
going to
Tifa the
kingdom of
Greatest.
penguins. Oh no, I'm not. Kitty.
Lady Kestrel said Tifa the Greatest being.
Kitty. Why did you betray so? No.
I've learned that Kestrel will throw you under the bus the second a convenience.
Lady Kestrel said yep.
I still don't. Okay, here's what we could do. Am I the asshole for making my brother leave after he brought his kids to my child-free thing?
And he had a reason for it. Then yeah, he is an asshole. Especially if you're fully intending of it being a full adult for lots of adult things going on. That's a very valid reason to get child-free. So yeah,
Like,
the brothers.
I know a guy, and he had some very grown-up things at his wedding, including, and the wedding party, he had a massive, what's it called, with the group sex orgy. Like, he had an orgy with all the wedding guests, because it's all male roster, and he was gay, and he married out a guy, and, I was not offended that I didn't get an invite to that wedding, because I wouldn't have gone, because I wouldn't have wanted to see that.
I mean, another
I would
reason
say-
why to not have a kid in a kid-free wedding.
My wife and I got married days ago. We decided the wedding will be child-free. We thought this was the best option considering several factors from budget to keeping the order, etc. Everyone got an invitation, but my biggest concern was how my brother, Ramsey 36, is going to react. Ramsey married young and has 4 kids that he takes everywhere. He and his wife go. They are always there at every family event. The kids are grade A hyperactives, to say the least. I gave Ramsey the invitation in person, and he read it out loud in a sarcastic tone, then said, "Child-free?" I nodded, and he got somewhat mad, saying, "Are you serious? But my children never been excluded from any event, big or small, let alone their own uncle's wedding." I said, "I'm sorry,
Dude, there's gonna be times they're gonna be excluded from shit. That's gonna happen, you pussy. I'm just saying."
But you know what? Let's keep in mind this is their uncle. Like, when my mother had her second wedding, it was a smaller wedding, and there weren't that many people there. But like, she invited the nieces and nephews. You always invite the nieces and nephews.
Yes, but it's also remember, it is also their wedding. Their wedding. You only really get one true wedding. I mean, you can have the quote remarry again thing, but it's not the same as your first true
That's what I would have said.
wedding.
Like, you know, I would have said, if I was Ramsey, I would have looked him straight in the face and said, "Oh, that's okay. I know it's just your wife. They can come to your next wedding." And then they tear up the invitation right on the spot. Like, that's what I would have done.
Look, if someone too, then they're not just being your sibling at all. If that's how they'll treat.
If they're gonna exclude my kids from your wedding, like you're not gonna be anything to them anymore. Like, you're not gonna be their uncle, you're not gonna be their godmother. Like, how? That's not okay. Like, that's almost like
okay. Then, all right. Then they shouldn't have been an invitation at all. That's exactly what should have happened.
I think so too.
How would they invitation at all then? So, you know what? It's one of those routes where, you know what? There's no good option with you, so why even bother?
I think that would.
You know?
You know what though? Let's keep reading, because I bet you anything other people complained. I said, "I'm sorry, but it's already decided, and everyone had to follow the rules, not just him." He started off for a minute, and then to my surprise he said, "I totally get it, man. No children means no children. No worries." I was glad he didn't start an argument over it and seemed to accept the rule. The day of the wedding came, and Ramsey and his wife didn't show up until shortly before the ceremony began. My best man notified me that Ramsey had arrived and had all his kids with him. I was legit mad and went to meet him at the entrance and saw he brought all his kids against me and my wife's wishes. I greeted the kids and asked my sister-in-law to take them back to the car. He loudly asked what the fuck was wrong with me. I asked why he brought his kids, and
you know what?
Said it was okay.
The father of the children. He's just setting a bad example to his children. Does he even know that he's setting a horrible example to his children? Because he's acting like a male Karen.
And when Sister back to the car, he said, "Where did I go?" He asked loudly what the fuck was wrong with me. I asked why he brought his kids and who said it was okay. He said no one, but he was planning on bringing the kids all along and figured that by initially agreeing to my rule and showing up with the kids anyway would get me to agree on letting them stay. I stated this was no event for kids for many reasons, and that everyone respected the rule except him. He complained about me disrespecting him and his kids since, again, he never attends any events without them. In his words, "Wherever I go, my kids follow, period." I told him he needed to leave then. Not only did he call me a lunatic, but a terrible brother, a terrible uncle. He also called me a simp for agreeing to my wife's stupid rule, saying, "See, I called it, I knew it was her." Stupid rule saying, if that was him and his wife.
That was his fucking assumption. What was behind the doors, and just started saying whatever came to his mind to get his opinion.
You know what though? If the kids are going everywhere all that time, then the fact that the kids weren't coming to this one specifically must have meant that the new factor was the wife. Like, what kind of a show is that doesn't let the kids come to their wedding?
Have you not noticed in this guy's behavior at all at a remote no? What if, he acts this way to whenever someone even says sit. He's probably terrorizable with how he's acting. This guy doesn't sound even be married, let alone have kids. Like, he's enforcing his will onto his brother and his soon-be sister-in-law, and better yet, making himself look like an asshole to several people who may or may not have social circles with him, which will in turn result in people hearing about what he did. No matter the good rep he had before, this kind of behavior is not acceptable.
It's not acceptable to your nieces and nephew from your wedding. Like, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It was supposed to be a once-in-a-lifetime occasion.
The person said that there was a multitude of reasons. And you have to respect the wife and... Not the wife, but... Yeah, the wife and the husband. Because it's their wedding. And people do this. It's perfectly normal and acceptable to have your weddings be special to you. And it's like, he's not being forced to go there. He willingly went there despite the fact to basically throw his will on everyone else and make himself the big person.
So you
to make himself
mad.
The big man.
So you wouldn't be mad if you wouldn't be mad if your sister invited like cousins once removed and aunts and uncles and grandparents you've never spoken to in like years over your own kids who are in your life almost constantly.
Dude, I wasn't invited to my sister's wedding. My younger sister's wedding. And I'm okay with that because there was reasons for it.
What were the reasons?
Ms. Froststone said, I think you're agreeing about the wrong thing.
It was because there was situations with the drives and I was already doing something personally and it's like the times crossed.
So it was more of like just a scheduling mishap opposed to like her having like some reason to snub you?
She didn't snub me, she just me flat out due to the nature of the wedding/marriage. It's not even going to be a big thing. It's going to be super small. It's just a few people who were able to come.
Well, to me, I'm interpreting this wedding as being massive because the budget's already running out. Like, it doesn't cost that much to have a big wedding if you do it like the right way. Like, if you have like the dollar store place settings and like
what
doing
if it
like
wasn't a big wedding?
Well, if it wasn't a big
you
wedding,
don't know.
If it wasn't a big wedding,
other invites obeyed the rule except for this guy. You don't know the full number, so it may not even be a big wedding.
There's actually a lot more. I didn't get to finish reading. Rules saying that if him and his wife even hinted he couldn't have the family kids at their wedding, he would have dropped her right there, right then. It was humiliating and loud enough for the guests to notice. My in-laws did too. I told him to leave. That's when my mom and aunt tried to convince me to let it go and let them stay. But I refused and had him leave after a massive argument between us. To say that I felt absolutely shitty is an understatement. Everyone gave me grief and ever since that incident and are siding with Ramsey, saying that I wronged him and acted cold towards him.
Stupid.
Him and the kids when they should just celebrate me and my wife. This is like an important thing, that family is important. My dad especially is pissed at me for potentially
I am leaving
up my
the
relationship with Ramsey.
entirely. I'm sorry, but this is
wife and kids kicking him out of the wedding. He quoted Ramsey, he won't ever forget
emotionally.
this day. Am I the
I'm
asshole?
just gonna.
Ms. Froststone said at the point of question it doesn't matter if it was right to not invite the kids. The brother agreed to no kids then brought them anyways. At that point he had to make the...
Alright, Tasty has a point that if that was the case, like, but I think it was pretty clear his sarcastic, like you don't go from like fighting head on or something like that, like I'm not gonna, you would, no kids, huh, yeah, right, and then go from, oh sure, I totally respect your decision, pat your head, pat, like it was obvious he's gonna bring the kids anyway, and this guy's been his brother for like how many years did it say? I should say for 36 years? Like, yeah, he should have known that was gonna happen. Just went away. That you want a special day, but like you also can't ignore the fact that family's forever and marriages don't always take. And like even the aunts and the uncle and like especially the aunts and the uncles of the guy, like they're saying like let them stay, like that's not cool that you would invite us over your own nieces and nephews. Like if he should have had a backyard wedding or a church wedding and just had like a small reception where like potluck. Because that's what my sister still did, that's what my mother did. And I think it's really important that people need to acknowledge that family's first.
Are paying for it, then they might get a say, otherwise they can STFU.
Uncles have got money to invite the nieces and nephews.
It's the goal with the niece and nephews. Flat out,
Miss Frost Stone said that's not the issue. If it's my wedding and I say no kids, I mean no kids.
It's like you ask one thing of people. You ask something because you're not even thinking about the possibility of a person not having the emotional bandwidth to like have kids running, especially kids who are super active, hyperactive, and are probably the type who wouldn't even want to be in weddings, be too crazy and want going wild and active. I know as a child, I was super active, and I did not like weddings because of, or other things of similarity, because I am having to sit still.
Weddings
So it's
are
like,
fun though. And food and flowers
like,
and
no,
mingling.
it's not that. I mean, they're cool if you go there, but it's also a no-brainer if you don't go. There's such things as pictures. And I've seen and heard stories about weddings and marriages to make me disillusioned with the whole floweriness.
I used to plan my wedding every day. Like I had somewhere in my house, I have a giant book of like wedding plans, and like the wedding's like the biggest day of your life, and you want it to be perfect. So I can understand like the woman wanting to not have kids there, but like the fact that she would exclude someone who's an almost immediate family over it, I think that's really messed up.
No kids, no kids. If you make exceptions, then what the fuck was the point of having rules? All you do is just make everyone else feel like they're not special enough. Rules are rules for a reason. And I'm fully with Miss Froststone right now, because, like, seriously.
I would have just not have gone. I wouldn't even have gone.
Kids. Just
like if my kids wanted to come to your wedding, I just wouldn't go.
And that's perfectly fine. You don't have to go. And if you want to get a grudge out of this, that's your choice. The issue was that they made their choice by invoking that choice and pushing their will onto other people. That's called abusive behavior. That's literally called
I do kind of see that. I think in the guy's head, like there's no way they're serious about that.
And it's like the fact
and when they were serious,
Sam, they literally rallied everyone against the couple, essentially ruining their wedding.
Good, they deserve to have their wedding ruined for it.
Ruining someone else's wedding out of petty reasons.
It's not a petty reason.
Would you like that way if someone ruined your wedding and had everyone gathered up against you on your special
day? That's
day?
happened to me, and I would not have done that. Like I would not have not excluded anyone from my wedding. Like if I would like literally
in the first place. This sort of conversation just kills the desire for a wedding or marriage or dating because it's fucked up. Just
well spot there.
Miss Froststone.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Let's agree. So we've got how many for and how many people against? Neutral. So you got one. Kestrel. So what do you think of the whole thing?
Lady Kestrel said not touching it.
So
I think
if
done is
so,
that
is
they could
neutral?
have like a adult party just for the adults and still invite kids to the actual wedding.
Or like the opposite way around. Maybe have like a kid area in the back, or like have no kids at the ceremony, but then the kids can come to reception, or like maybe have like, because there's a lot of ways they could have made this work. Cast not touch or neutral, or do you feel one way or the other and don't want to take sides? Because I don't care if you want to side with Tifa. One not.
Mizone said maybe if they had worked that out beforehand, but at the point of kicking out the brother, that was all the brother's problem.
So, Tasty, are you for or against? So that's 2 against, 2 neutral, 1 for, and
Ms. Froststone
Sarah?
said nothing would have been fine, so I say NTAH.
So it's 2 for, 2 against, and 3 neutrals. Now these are the ones I really hard to just see like a right and wrong answer. Like I love like that. Although the last one that's kind of a fluff piece. Anyone else want to put one in?
Fine. Ooh.
I'm curious now.
Yeah, I think we touched some prickles.
Like the
Am I the asshole for breaking my promise to my stepkids and abandoning and traumatizing them because I did not want to parent them anymore?
Wow. The header, I would say, yeah. Like you can't abandon.
Said it's getting late.
Alright, so this will be the last one.
Well, when I was 20, I was 29 with 2 kids and had been newly widowed. We had whirlwind trip where he introduced me to his kids and got me involved in their lives very early. First few days after I met him. Will said really quickly he was sure I was the one, not only for himself but also for his kids. That we'd have an incredible happy family life. We got married when I was 23, Will was 30. His kids were 8 and 6. Our wedding ceremony also included me and the kids making promises to each other, which was Will's idea. Soon, Will shoved all the child care onto me. I wasn't a stay-at-home spouse. I worked full-time and always have, but he had reasons for me to do the child care. Him being sore from doing a physical job made me better at it since I babysat kids this age in the past and he never had. Or girl stuff for his daughter, or cook anything. He always had some reason and it ended up always on me. He started playing video games and relaxing from getting home until bed. And because he was tired and he was bringing the money and keeping the roof over anyway, everyone says. Though that wasn't really true. He said he deserved to relax. Then he went out to his friends or brought them back to drink beer and watch loud TV. He developed a major attitude with me and encouraged the same in the kids. They found it funny. He started openly disrespecting me and encouraged to also do so. He was the ultimate dad, and I put in the role of the mean witch. Sometimes they all ganged up on me and mocked me, but also all expected me to serve them and constantly jumping up to care for them. By the end of the first year, I realized the marriage was a big mistake, but guilty in leaving because of my promise to the kids. Another year went by and I realized no matter how I tried and how I knew they were only kids, I didn't really blame them. I genuinely hated both of the kids, and I could not lie to myself anymore and pretend that I loved them. I did not, and I never would. One day, I just walked out, packed up everything of mine, and moved out while nobody was home. I left a note explaining it wasn't working, saying goodbye. That was the end. Cue the storm from my ex and after bitter divorce. But we both walked away with what we went into the marriage, but not much for either of us. I have never legally adopted the kids, so I have no rights or responsibilities about them, and I never reached out to any of them again. Honestly, I was overjoyed to hear them all. 15 years later, 15 years went by, and that seems like a lifetime ago, or another person's life, but I'm still in my 30s. I was recently shocked from Will's daughter, now 25. Tamara said I betrayed and traumatized her for abandoning them after my promise to them. She said I had a responsibility to never leave no matter what. I know she remembers the horrible way she treated me, though.
I would say she's not the asshole. Because if they're all ganging up on her and they treat her like garbage and they're constantly putting her down, and the father wasn't being a good role model and was not helping out the way that he should have been with the housework and stuff, like, I think she had every right to leave. And the guy should be happy, fight for like custody, because my cousin Olive, she married a guy specifically for the point of his kids, brainwashed the kids against the guy, and then got divorced, and then the kids all turned on the father. It had gone really messy, and I think the guy should be lucky that it went, like, she just left and that was that. Like, am I right?
Yeah. The end of it all.
Yeah, like, I think she's just like a drone. She knows what.
A mini Karen.
Yep. Anyone else want to weigh in on that? Tasty, Kara, Tifa?
What was your opinion one?
The girl is not enough, and both the father and should all go to hell.
Okay. Clean sense. High five.
I'm giving you hugs. You.
Ms. Froststone said, I wonder why the girl went to the trouble of tracking this lady down.
Yeah,
especially if they're 15 years.
Yeah, in all honesty, I'm giving you hugs. So I'm like, this girl, she's a bitch. Not the ex-wife. I'm talking about the girl that literally tracked the lady down. She a bitch. She a bitch.
The only thing I can think of, and having abandonment issues myself, is that this girl is having issues in her life because of her abandonment issues, and she's trying to blame the mother, but it's not, or the wicked stepmother, but like, she was never the mother. And I think the guy married her for the sole purpose just so the kids would have a mom, and that's not fair to the woman. And like, there's nannies for that. I'll get a nanny.
Not just that. He basically was like,
abused her. He basically emotionally for sure, and abused this girl, this woman.
So he probably is like, I wonder if the mom, the reason why she died was probably suicide. Because what's to say he didn't do too?
Yeah, like, just bam, lady, get out of the way.
That her mom committed suicide because of that bastard. Or wait, I don't. She would even care. She has gone down the rabbit hole too deeply.
Yeah,
like,
I think
that's the situation where the child had been taught bad things from the person that they had lived with the entire life, and it's like, oh, this is okay. It's okay to treat somebody like this. Poor relationship teaching, as well as it's just wrong, and the child is taught all the wrong things. So it's an issue of nature for nurture.
Exactly. Like, she
but
might
it's still the girl's fault. It's still the girl's fault for being the one to do all those things to a stepmother. No, it was the girl's fault being the stepmother that way.
Tammy.
But at the same time, the biggest jerk was the ex-husband.
I agree. Like, he brainwashed those kids to use that lady. Like, they might have been able to salvage that relationship if he had just contributed a little bit more. But the fact that he would get home from his hard-working job, you poor baby, here,
let's
let me
be
get
honest,
you the television, and like rub your feet, and massage your legs, and brush your hair, and make you TV and dinner, and
let's
bring
be
you
honest,
margarita.
he was probably cheating on her too. Let's just be honest, he was probably cheating on her too. Would it really be that beyond?
Yeah, I wouldn't be. Nope.
This is just like his friends. What's to say that some of his friend hangouts were not cheating?
Well, he also brought the friends back to the house, you know? So, like, maybe the wife
Who
said...
said he wasn't having sex with the same gender? We don't know this guy's
Ooh.
sexuality.
Yeah, that might be why he knows women, because he thinks that all women are, like, Harpy Queens, and that's
No.
why he's
It's like
always busy with, like, a man.
no. Even despite sexuality, I think that the women comment is more of just asshole being asshole.
Yep.
Doesn't matter the quality. Asshole is asshole.
So the big was the stepfather, and the kids just got trained to be the jerks of the future to other people.
And honestly, I'd be more than happy to hear about the daughter having awful upon awful relationships, and if not getting in jail, probably getting shot, or just having her heart broken because of her own cruelty. But that's just me being spiteful.
Yeah, or because of how she never learned how to correctly treat somebody, that when she ends up in a relationship with a guy just like her father, who, like, puts her down and mistreats her, and she doesn't leave because she doesn't know any better. And maybe even the fact that, like, her stepmother walked out on her, the fact that that happened, she tries extra hard to compensate and make it work with the man who she thought she loved, even though he doesn't respect women at all.
Or thinks that it's okay and that's how you're supposed to be treated.
In which case, getting with her, I don't know. Anyways, ready.
Wow, we have been recording for 2 hours and 5 minutes and like 57 seconds. I don't even have so much.
Said G-Bus. Ms. Frostire read it is bad idea and only serves to make people upset for no real benefit.
Am I the asshole Reddit?
Sure.
I thought it was fun.
It was. It also gave story ideas. It gave some story ideas.
I have a lot of story ideas from some
entire Froststones said this entire Reddit is bad idea and only serves to make people upset for no real benefit. I mean,
Ms. Froststone said it's good for content but
it's
bad
good
for the
content,
soul.
but bad for the soul. Agreed. But also at the same time, story ideas.
Especially trying to make a jerk. You have to get research.
Yeah, it makes angst searching easy, so I'm not upset that Reddit exists.
Neither am I. I like it for the like debate. Like, I think it's really fun to have like debates. I used to be on the debate club in like school, but obviously now I don't really do anything like that. So I thought it was really fun.
I mean, it's good to have conversations. Just,
I mean, I was not in the debate club, but I did like this debate thing in science class in middle school once, and the teacher said I was so vicious and made so many good points I needed to stop to let everybody else do stuff as well.
I think that viewers must in debates. Like, that's the point. If you can destroy your opponent with your facts and your knowledge, then that is you're like a little lawyer. Miss Chica.
Because I'm too soft of a heart.
Yeah, you're too soft to be a lawyer.
No, somebody makes me. If somebody makes me upsetting, like you, a child. Well.
Oh, there's Earl. I mean, not sure, but Frisk. I mean, Kitty. Kitty, you're still mute, by the way.
Yeah, you're still mute.
How's the VA thing, B?
Still doing stuff.
So, I think I'm going to end it here. Is there anything else anyone wants to say?
Nope.
Nope.
If you're editing.
With that, too.
So, yeah,
you can probably split it into multiple videos.
Yeah, but I'm going to try to...
Wait, is this going on YouTube or something?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
We got kind of raunchy at some point. Like the part with the tampon. YouTube's gonna have a good
when I get really fired
you
up,
know what, though?
I can't control my tongue. That's why I do
I'm the
mute
same
a
way.
lot.
I'm the same way. Like, you're not the raunchy one. Like, between me and Yuka, like, we're definitely up there. Like, she's a little bit more raunchy than me. Like, I curse a lot. I say a lot of stuff I probably shouldn't say. So, like, you're fine.
Really
you're totally
curse.
fine.
So I rarely curse, so.
Your avatars are so kitty.
They really are.
If you've made it this far into the video, be sure to leave a like, share, subscribe if you're new, and comment what your favorite story was.
What's your favorite?
It's probably the one with me.
The knitting.
My
I
favorite
think
one. I'm sorry.
looking for it's you go on first. I'll find it.
I think my favorite one was where the guy told his sister-in-law's kids that their father died.
When you, yeah, mine is the one with the first one I posted. You know, the one with the girl telling the parents that she's not stealing their little boy because he's like a grown adult.
That one was really good too. What about you, Sarah? What was your favorite?
Disappointment since they never told us anything about the cake.
Yeah, you gotta have some there.
Or the cake got pulled out.
Probably.
Wow.
It did. Yeah, like everyone got real mad.
Yeah, I mean, if all the other gangs on the wedding, on the bride room, yeah, in honesty, it likely did. And it's another reason why I was in the defense of the wife and the husband and bride, because like literally everyone else was like ditching them for the quote unquote uncle with the nieces and nephews, because like, bro, he knew and he still shit.
They
like,
were already there.
What is he, like 10 years old? That sort of be encouraged. That's like the same thing as, it's very similar but small scale to the last story that I'm not gonna mention in too more detail because it's triggering. It's just it's similar in the sense that the brother's trying to manipulate the situation to his benefit and bring a bad influence to the children by showing them that this sort of behavior is okay. That's not okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if the son got lawsuits against Tutu treating his girlfriend / whatever wife you'd get that way.
Nope. Sarah, what was your favorite?
Sarah?
Sarah?
Sarah, are you alive? I look like hiccups.
Sarah, I think you're still mute. You're still mute.
Guys, it's gonna be a bit AFK. I'm getting some chalky milk.
Alright.
You actually finish. Say about that.
It's fine.
No worries. Alright, so I'm gonna start a behemoth of like have this massive file on my computer. So see you through the screen, everyone. Ta-ta!
Bye.
Bye.
Wait, did Turtle leave? I thought.
I guess she's.
Are my ears deceiving me? I'm like.
My Wi-Fi went.
Because like I goodbye and then you left and everyone thought, wait, didn't Sammy say goodbye and then she left?
No, I.
Getting nervous 'cause you're really so in the zone.